We know finding a company to trust with your home is a big decision and one we look forward to earning with incredible service, top quality products, and lifetime warranties. Adrian here, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Our windows are feature-rich with our sound package that reduces noise by 50%, clean glass technology, and added protection with our exclusive First Guard 3-layer security glass. Learn more about all of these features at lakewashingtonwindows.com. Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
The peace lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. In a surprising announcement today, President Trump said the Houthi rebels in Yemen will stop attacking ships in the Red Sea.
They don't want to fight anymore. They just don't want to fight. And we will honor that.
The president did not elaborate, and there was some confusion over where the communication came from. CBS's Nancy Cordes at the White House.
When the president was asked, how do you know that the Houthis are ready to stand down? He said, well, I have it from a very important source, don't I? And he turned to Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Trump's announcement comes after Israel struck the rebels yesterday. CBS's Ramy Inocencio has that.
The IDF confirmed that it did launch what it calls a wave of airstrikes and that it has now destroyed the Sana'a International Airport in Yemen's capital.
And the White House press secretary has just confirmed the ceasefire, calling it a massive win for President Trump, who promised to restore the freedom of navigation in the Red Sea. Tomorrow is the deadline for having a real ID. Correspondent Chris Van Cleve on what to expect at the airport.
Flyers that do not have one of these compliant forms of identification should expect to spend more time at that checkpoint. There will be additional security screening. TSA will make an attempt to verify the person is who they say they are, who that ID says they are.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent testified on Capitol Hill today and answered a lot of questions about which countries the U.S. is talking to about tariffs. CBS's Kelly O'Grady was monitoring.
There are no ongoing negotiations with China, but he did highlight that there are 7 countries that they are currently in trade talks with.
And President Trump said again today China wants a meeting, and it will happen. CBS News has learned the FDA's top official overseeing food and drug inspections has decided to quit. A new study finds the shingles vaccine can also lower the risk of heart disease. Correspondent Michael Wallace says that.
The study in the European Heart Journal looked at more than 2 million people who have gotten shingles shots since 2012.
We saw a 23% reduction in their risk of cardiovascular events.
CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder, editor-at-large for public health at KFF Health News, says that shingles vaccine has since been replaced with a new one, Shingrix.
We are seeing even better vaccine effectiveness, and we're seeing preliminary data showing that it too has cardiovascular protective effects.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
The Supreme Court's allowing the Trump administration to enforce a ban on transgender people in the military while the legal challenges play out. The court's 3 liberal justices said they would have kept the policy on hold. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things. Bundle today at Progressive.com.
On this sunny day, warnings about the upcoming wildfire season. That's one of the stories coming up at first from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk. I'm not seeing any major blocking problems right now. You do have construction that's bogging you down on State Route 18 up to I-90. Travel times are easing after earlier congestion. Federal Way to Seattle, 30 minutes, less than 10 longer than usual. Renton to Bellevue, 25 minutes, 5 longer than typical. Everett to Seattle, half an hour. That's right on target. Traffic brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Bosch. A Thurston County handyman accused of murdering an 82-year-old Tenino grandmother pleaded not guilty today to murder. 47-year-old Jeffrey Ziz is accused of killing Marcia Norman and burying her body in concrete under a shed. He's due back in court later this month. Police have arrested the motorcycle rider they say hit and killed a woman and injured her husband 2.5 weeks ago in South Seattle. KIRO 7 TV's Deborah Horn reports.
Seattle police tell us that they took that suspect, a 43-year-old Seattle man, to Harborview Medical Center for an ailment he had before he was arrested. The fact that he is in custody is causing people here to breathe a sigh of relief. They got him? They got him.
Yeah, that's good.
This comes after Seattle police released a clearer photograph of the suspect and his motorcycle.
Many tips came in,
sparking a remarkable reaction from the public.
We're learning more about the Kentucky fugitive who slipped away from private transport agents at SeaTac Airport Sunday. Bowling Green, Kentucky Police Chief Ronnie Ward says 28-year-old Cedric Stevenson is wanted on several charges.
Assault, third-degree police officer, possession of controlled substance, trafficking in marijuana less than 8 ounces, resisting arrest, criminal mischief, and possession of a handgun by convicted felon.
Stevenson was last seen getting off of a light rail train in Seattle's Capitol Hill neighborhood. You can see a picture of him at mynorthwest.com. A warning today that the upcoming fire season could be more dangerous and destructive than usual. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey spoke with Washington's Department of Natural Resources.
The DNR's Thomas Kyle Millwald says a federal funding freeze, layoffs, and the late hiring of federal fire crews has them extremely concerned. In a year, they're projecting an above-average fire season.
The likely expectation will be that DNR and other state and local entities will have to sort of shoulder more of the burden.
Because the federal government has jurisdiction over 43% of forest land in Washington state, the DNR says residents now more than ever will need to lower fire risk. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Washington State's own Benson Boone is coming home to Climate Pledge Arena.
These beautiful things that I've got.
The Monroe-born pop star starts a nationwide tour this fall. It includes a stop in Seattle October 5th. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly sunny skies with highs around 77. It's 65 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome to the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, hanging out with us. Whether you're watching on the YouTube live page, which is a lot of fun, we can chat together, we can talk, you guys can chat to each other, or whether you're streaming or whether you're listening in your car, we're just glad you're here. We're happy to have you. I'm Jake Skorheim, sitting alongside Spike O'Neill.
Microphone on. Greetings.
There you go.
Greetings, my friend.
A lot of stuff to talk about today.
Big show.
Big show. Really big shoe. A lot of stuff to get to. This manhunt that everybody's talking about, you just heard on the break.
Yeah.
From Bowling Green all the way to SeaTac. A lot of people are wondering when this manhunt's going to end.
I got questions how this whole thing got started.
How in the hell did they lose this guy? To answer some of those questions, we're very fortunate. We got our very own James Lynch, KIRO News Radio reporter. He joins us now. He's on the case. James, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
What's going on with this guy? Let's start at the beginning. What happened? How did he escape? Fill us in.
Well, he was at the airport at SeaTac, and he was in the custody of a prisoner transportation service called Prisoner Transport Services. It's a private company. There are a lot of states that use these private companies, so they don't have to use their own people. And the advantage is if they use a third-party person, basically sounds more like a bounty hunter to me.
Nice.
Then their states reimburse them for that expense. So they basically get their fugitive expedited back to their state with no cost to their department. So this company had found him here. I don't know how they found him. I don't know where they found him. I've talked with local law enforcement. They directed me from Port of Seattle to Seattle Police and back. I eventually found out that he was wanted out of Bowling Green, Kentucky, ironically, on an escape charge.
Oh.
But he also does have a long history of assaulting a police officer, being a felon in possession of a firearm, and drug trafficking. They were at the ticket counter. Clearly, the transport agent must have turned his back, and he just got out of there. There was a lot of conversation about, was he handcuffed, was he shackled? Obviously, if he was shackled, he couldn't have disappeared into the crowd at an airport.
Or make that run to the light rail station. Because I've tried that without shackles, and it's not easy.
Yeah,
well,
so he must have had his shackles off. In subsequent pictures that we see of him, because he took the light rail to Capitol Hill, he's got his hands in his pockets, but you still don't see any cuffs.
Is that to hide the cuffs, or has he already gotten the cuffs off at this point?
How do you do that? How do you put your hands in your pocket?
It could be a really big set of cuffs. It's been a while since I've been in handcuffs.
And I'm not privy to the latest in hoodie design. Maybe there is a nice way to, wearing cuffs, not a problem.
Yeah.
Slide them in, hide from the public
and the
law enforcement.
The shackle thing, his bounty hunter could have been exceptionally slow. He also could have been in shackles.
Dude, there is no way that a guy is running down the airport in shackles, in my opinion.
Without being somebody going like, hey, that guy's in shackles.
Yeah,
that's an interesting travel choice.
How fast can he go? And I could catch him.
And there are other law enforcement officials at SeaTac. There's tons of security at SeaTac.
Yeah.
Somebody sees somebody
Good
shuffling
luck
on down
through
with
TSA.
shackles. Right?
With shackles on.
So let me move on a little bit further. I think that these third-party transport companies, there are issues with them. They have had problems over the years. This specific company and other private companies in that industry, they've had problems transporting prisoners. And I called a Bowling Green because I had to work this one yesterday.
Yeah.
Had to call and talk to Bowling Green Police in Kentucky, then was directed to the Warren County Sheriff's Office, and that's the county in which Bowling Green sits. So I finally ran down the sheriff, and I asked him what was going on. He told me that he doesn't really know.
I've been in office going on my 7th year. This is the first time we've had any situation like this, and I'm in contact hopefully with them in the near future to find out exactly what went on. We're hopeful and thankful for the folks in Seattle, their law enforcement out there, that we hope that it will come to a safe apprehension of him and he will be brought back to the Commonwealth.
So basically, almost 24 hours after the guy escaped, then the sheriff in Warren County, Kentucky, still hasn't talked to the transport company.
Can I play you guys? I have a little insight into this because I have seen some movies on how you catch fugitives.
Right.
And I know that we're getting on, you said more than 24 hours, which is a big deal because they want to catch these guys as soon as possible because you never know how far they can make it.
Listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Our fugitive has been on the run for 90 minutes.
24 hours in our case.
Average foot speed over uneven ground, barring injuries, 4 miles an hour. That
possibly in shackles.
Gives us a radius of 6 miles.
How far does the light rail go?
Factoring light rail?
Factoring in light rail, many more miles. Unless the train is delayed, which could happen.
One of you is a hard target search of every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, or doghouse in that area. Checkpoints go up to 15 miles. Your fugitive's name is
Cedric Stevenson, and we're looking for him now.
That was a great movie.
That was a great movie.
Yeah,
but that's why I made my mistake yesterday when we first got news of the story. While you're in the newsroom hunting down these leads with various law enforcement organizations, both here and over in Kentucky, I assumed that he was in the custody of U.S. Marshals.
Yeah,
being transported, not the.
Prisoner Transport Services.
I'm writing it down so I never book them accidentally.
Well,
Transport Services.
Here's what you have to understand, Spike. Federal marshals are used for federal fugitives.
Okay.
Unless you have a state fugitive that is being sought for really serious crime.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, agencies tend to send their own people. They put them on a plane and let them go get them and bring the guy back.
Or in this
then
case,
they have to have the expense.
Bounty hunters in this case. What's Dog the Bounty Hunter doing? Is he still with us?
I don't know.
I don't know if he's still with us. Do they have any leads right now that you have heard of, or are we still just hoping that this guy turns up? We're still just asking the public, if you see this guy, call 911. Don't approach him, they're saying.
No, dangerous guy.
Dangerous guy.
We've got a picture of him on mynorthwest.com, so listeners can go and check out that photo just so they can be aware when they're out and about. We don't know if he's still in Seattle. We don't know if he has family or friends are in Seattle. We don't know if maybe he got himself a car and he's gotten out of the area. Nobody seems to know right now.
Let me ask you guys a question. We have a wide-ranging... Spike, you and I oftentimes do solve cases.
Well, we enlist the resources of this audience,
which
gives
massive.
us leads, brings in leads, centralizing information and get results.
James may not know this, but a couple months back, there was a couple of mini donkeys, burros, missing. And who do you think found them?
I don't think anybody missed that story.
That's right.
Our listeners. They were listening to our show.
Right here.
And they said, hey, I recognize those two mini donkeys. They're tough to miss because they're tiny and adorable and they're donkeys.
We're here to do good.
We're here to do good and we're here to solve crimes. We solved another one. What was the other one we solved, Spike? We solved another
Liberty
crime
Bell.
recently.
Missing Liberty Bell from the graveyard.
Missing Liberty Bell from the graveyard.
Yep.
We
Brought
had
that one
something
home.
to do with that one as
Yep.
well.
Yep.
So now we have this. I mean, I feel like we're moving up because now it's a wanted
fugitive.
I'm a regular listener on your show. I don't miss much.
You don't miss much. You know all these things, James. So but here's my question, not just for the audience who might have something to do with it. You can call 911, obviously, if you see the guy. But what if this fugitive is a fan of the show and he loves the entertainment of the show?
That's why he was in the Northwest.
Are you guys going to invite him on?
I don't know what radio's like in Kentucky, but I know it's better here.
Yeah, I would agree.
Here's what I would say. What advice would you offer to this young? He's 28 years old. He's still at the early stages of his life. I mean, he's not he's no spring chicken, but he's not like he hasn't lived more than half of his life yet. I hope he's got a long life ahead of him. What would you say to this young man who's running right now, probably feels like, hey, I saw an open door, I took it, and maybe I'm feeling a little regretful right now? What message would you send him, Spike?
Well, to quote another movie, drugs will end you, son. Because he was trafficking in drugs, too. One of the reasons they feel he was up
One
here
of
in
the
the
charges?
Northwest. Yeah.
Allegedly.
No, I would say this. When you stray from the path, the longer you stray, the further you get from the path.
Mm-hmm.
And, the court does hold a lot of leniency and compassion and maybe mercy for someone who does the right thing and says, like Jake said, I saw an opening and in a moment of temporary insanity and bad judgment, I took it. But
Sure.
I know I can do better. I can be better. I can do the right thing.
And it's never too late to turn your life around.
That's right.
I know some people that I know one particular guy that lived on the street. He was homeless and a drug addict, decided to turn his life around, went to law school, and now he's an attorney in Southern California.
No way.
A litigator. It's unbelievable. So it's never too late.
I want Cedric to hear these stories. You know what I mean?
Right,
I mean,
right.
like, I believe in grace, and I believe that everybody can turn their life around,
Yep,
like you were
yep.
saying, James. And if he's listening to the show right now, I want him to think that there's hope for a better future
Come on
out
in.
there.
Come on in.
Come on in, Cedric. You don't need to do this. And there's going to be a little bit of pain involved. Obviously, this is probably going to add a few months on to whatever you get.
Mm-hmm.
But it's better than being on the run for the rest and like trying to live a half-life.
Looking over your shoulder.
Looking over your
sleeping
shoulder
easy.
all the time,
Yeah.
thinking Tommy Lee Jones is coming in the door.
Right.
We saw what happened to Dr. Richard Kimball. You do not want that to happen to yourself, Cedric.
When I was growing up, my father used to always tell me that the last thing you want to do is have to wake up every day and look over your shoulder. What a terrible way to live.
That hits home.
Yeah.
For sure.
Beautiful.
That's true words. Truer words were never spoken. Cedric, if you're listening, or if you guys know Cedric, send him this link to the show. And we wish that he would come in, pay the price for whatever he did that was wrong, and then move on and make a great life.
Yeah.
Because he got a good life.
And if you can't, he's got a good life. If you can't turn him in, or if you can't convince him to turn himself in,
Turn him in.
Turn him in.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a
There's
coffee
probably a
mug. We got a
reward.
coffee mug for you.
Get the reward.
KIRO Newsradio coffee mug.
Yeah, we'll send you
for
a coffee mug.
Turn that man in.
Absolutely. Turn
You
him
bet.
in. All right, James Lynch, thank you so much for staying on the story.
You
We
bet.
appreciate it.
You
We'll
bet.
follow up with you as you find out more.
Absolutely.
All right, Spike, I saw this story. This one really hit home for you. This next story about this drug chain, this pharmacy that's closing down.
I don't know. Yeah.
What are you making of this? This is Rite Aid is filing for bankruptcy
Again. Thank you.
Again. They recently purchased a Seattle staple here, Bartell Drugs, which they purchased, just a little over, was it?
Almost 2 years ago, I think. Was it
2020. Yeah.
Oh, 20, that long ago? Okay. Well, in my neighborhood, they took over.
Sure.
They ran the Bartells out of town.
Well, it's actually, they may have converted it to a Rite Aid in name only.
No. See, we had a local bar. We have 2 local Bartells.
Sure.
Right, close to us. We used the one that was just a little bit closer. And there were our regular pharmacy. Wonderful people, did great work, helped my family navigate all of our insurance changes and medical situations and growth.
God bless them.
And then here comes Rite Aid, national chain, seeing this local success story, buying them up, wanting to trade on that brand, right? But Bartell's stretched themselves too thin.
Sure.
And declared bankruptcy. It was almost a year ago, right? That they declared bankruptcy themselves.
Well,
and they cut. I mean, I'll probably get corrected at 2:30, right?
I can
Or
correct you now
2:45.
if you
Okay,
prefer.
sure.
Rite Aid purchased Bartell Drugs in 2020.
Right.
Bartell Drugs was doing poorly.
Right.
They then converted some of those into.
Some of those were converted. The ones in my neighborhood were both continue to operate.
But
Rite Aid and
they may have been named Bartell Drugs, but they have been owned by Rite Aid.
Right. Yeah.
For the last 5
But
years.
for me, when the same crew, the same staff, the same pharmacy staff, the same shelf stockers all worked there, to me it was still a Bartell's.
Sure.
Right. And then, so Bartell's then runs that particular one closes down, and all of our businesses shifted over to the Rite Aid, and close to our home, not really inconvenient. And the thing that Bartell's did, that Rite Aid, it's so confusing. The thing that Rite Aid did that was so wonderful was they brought the entirety of the pharmacy staff, doctors and assistants, all
kept them all,
and brought them to my Rite Aid.
Nice.
So that my family's long history with physicians and care providers and insurance companies
was intact.
I didn't have to re-educate these people and go round and round again.
Sure.
But my real heartbreak here is that now Bartell's is, God, see, it's so confusing. I can't tell. Who's giving me all these drugs? I say to myself. Who? Rite Aid now, second bankruptcy. They just can't make it work.
Yeah.
How is a company that was this on such thin ice, how'd you get approved to buy Bartell's?
Well, Bartell's.
How'd you tank a local success story, a great local business?
It's tough because Bartell's wasn't having the success that it did back in the day. Bartell's was also struggling, which is why they were
for
forced to sell.
Yeah. And
in 2020,
family said it was time to get out.
Somebody stepped in and
Yeah.
they said,
Yeah.
in fact, we have a quote here from George D. Bartell, former chairman of Bartell's. He says, "We felt that this was the only answer," talking about when they sold in 2020. The company, he says, it was getting more and more difficult for regional operators to compete in the market. And so they were forced to sell to a bigger name, which hopefully would have given them the resources to keep the company open. But
that was their intent. That's best of intentions.
So Rite Aid steps in. Maybe they're able to save the company, and everybody's happy because you still have the local Bartell name, but it's run with some deeper pockets by the Rite Aid people.
That was the promise.
Well, that's the intention.
Yeah.
And in any business, you're going to run into tough times.
Nobody goes into business looking to fail.
Yeah, they weren't trying to run Bartell's. They were taking a big loss on this. Bankruptcy is not a success for any company. So Rite Aid's not happy that this is happening. And obviously, they don't want to let people down who love Bartell's, but Bartell's has now gone the way of the dodo, and it's not going to be around anymore. That's unfortunately what the market determined, and it's sad. I don't know what the fix to that would have been. Maybe they had too many locations. They were just stretched too thin.
That's got to be my thought. I mean, how are you acquiring if you're already stretched so thin?
Again, Rite Aid, a national chain, they had the resources to try to keep it safe.
But this is the second time they declared bankruptcy, so clearly they were overestimating their ability to do business in this market. If they see these trends that they cite for this newest bankruptcy, right, which is a lack of reimbursement from pharmacy, from insurance providers. They're not getting the money back when they sell drugs. They're not getting reimbursed from insurance providers and from the government, which is one of the largest reimbursers and providers of pharmaceutical care for Americans.
Medicare, Medicaid, all that stuff.
Exactly. And then there's the internet and cheaper options. Thank you. Right? Amazon, whatnot. Amazon's in the pharmacy business now. Boom.
Bing, bang, boom.
They can't keep up. It's another brick and mortar failure story because we've all transitioned into how we do retail again.
But if you can't get people in the doors, is that really Rite Aid's fault?
Well, a great point, because since Rite Aid took over our family's pharmaceutical needs and our last minute greeting card needs, that's usually why we go into a Rite Aid. The shelves. Have you been into a Rite Aid of late?
You know what I have? I think I know what you're talking about.
The shelves. It's like a blizzard has been predicted, and the shelves are bare. People are buying everything they can get their hands on. There's nothing. 25% of the shelves at Rite Aid have any stock at all.
Why do you think that is?
They don't have the resources to buy product to put on shelves. They're cutting costs where they can because they've stretched themselves so thin. I mean, there's always one or two employees, and they're all, doing something elsewhere than when I need them. But that's everywhere in the retail world.
I don't know,
but no stock.
I don't know the small drugstore business at all. But I do know that every time I go into one of those stores, they have a lot of products, and I'm just wondering if are they just eliminating products that are not high sellers, and so they're taking up storage space. But they're not refilling that same space with like more paper towels.
Right. I can't believe that's the case though, because you go into any department, whether it's makeup or hair products or first aid products, and literally it's 2/3, 3/4 of the hooks, the shelves are just bare.
It's tough though, because I don't really blame Rite Aid for this. I mean, that's my thoughts are it's not. When's the last time you went in to buy any of these products off of the shelf in? You might, because you come from an era where people did that.
I still shop. Yeah.
I still might, because I grew up in an area also where people did that.
Yeah.
But like, my wife buys everything online. If she wants something, if she wants a hair product or a makeup, she puts it into her phone, and by lunchtime, it's on our front porch.
I hear you. Like I said, the evolution of how we shop, how we do retail.
Yeah, so
this is an inevitability.
They're competing with, like you were saying earlier, the internet. It's like, how do you compete with the internet? That's a much bigger store than anything that they could fit in a Rite Aid.
So now that these stores are gone from our availability, our lives, our neighborhoods, our communities, there are still some pharmacy stores. Like I would point to Walgreens. They seem to be doing fine. Is that just a matter of time till they're gone too?
That's a great question. I don't know why Walgreens is having success if Rite Aid is not. It could just
maybe Walgreens didn't stretch themselves too thin.
Maybe. Yeah. How many Walgreens are there? But there's a Rite Aid everywhere I look.
There is. There are
empty though.
I can think of 2 Walgreens close to us, but neither close enough. There was 4 different Rite Aids and Bartells in between the 2 Walgreens in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Maybe they're stretched too thin. All I know is I don't know who's going to give me pills now.
Yeah. I'm sure you can
harder on us.
I'm sure you can find some pills. Anywhere in Seattle, I'm sure you can find some pills. May not be the ones you want. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Chris Sullivan's going to join us next. The Hood Canal Bridge closure. What was this all about? 8 hours? Have they figured out what the problem was? Is it going to happen again? He's going to join us next and explain. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
Well, you're getting ready every morning. Make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
Hey, homeowners, I'm talking to you. Protect your biggest investment now with Integrity Roofing and Construction. Get ahead of the summer rush. Integrity, your family-owned, award-winning roofing and construction company, is ready to give your home the protection it deserves. Integrity Roofing offers a complete in-house construction division for all your projects, complete design division. Integrity Roofing is known for top-notch service and on-site project management that makes every process easy. Beat the summer rush and call Integrity today at 206-202-ROOF for a free estimate, or find them online at integrityrc.com. That's integrityrc.com.
Why choose Care Partners Senior Living over in-home care? Amanda here. The answer is simple. Care Partners communities provide safe living spaces with medical professionals on site. We assist you with your mobility so you can participate in activities whenever you like. You can have privacy and socialize at your own pace. And you may find Care Partners more affordable than in-home care. With locations throughout Washington and Arizona, you'll find a Care Partners community near you. Care. It's in our name and what we do. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See dealer for full details and disclaimers.
So I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and I would get, the same questions from people about what to do in the case of an accident. Do you need a lawyer? To the point where I decided that I would at least write a book which would answer the common questions that I would receive as a lawyer. Once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases so that we could really teach people about their rights, how to protect them, and how to decide on whether they need a lawyer and what lawyer to hire. I've found in my career that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Time is running out to save during our preseason AC sale happening now at Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Don't miss your chance to save 10% on a new air conditioner, heat pump, or ductless system to keep your home cool all summer long. Join thousands of satisfied customers and put your trust in the team voted best in the Pacific Northwest year after year. Hurry and call Bob's for your free AC estimate today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob. Cold is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Guys, thinking about testosterone replacement therapy? Revive Men's Health can help you get started if you're ready to book your free T-check. Visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. That's Revive, R-E-V-I-B-E, menshealth.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Bosch. President Trump is again proposing Canada become the 51st state. Trump, at a meeting at the White House alongside newly elected Prime Minister Mark Carney, said,
I do feel it's much better for Canada, but we're not going to be discussing that unless somebody wants to discuss it.
But Trump persisted.
There are tremendous benefits to the Canadian citizens, tremendously lower taxes, free military, which honestly we give you essentially anyway because we're protecting Canada if you ever had a problem.
Carney's response:
It's not for sale, won't be for sale ever.
Yeah, things got tense. The press was ushered out. Real ID goes into effect tomorrow. But if you didn't manage to get your enhanced Washington state driver's license and need to fly, Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem says,
what will happen tomorrow is folks will come through the line and they will issue their ID and show it. If it's not compliant, they may be diverted to a different line, have an extra step, but people will be allowed to fly.
It will take you some extra time, though. Dozens of pro-Palestinian protesters are facing trespassing and other charges after they were arrested at the University of Washington last night. KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is there.
A street sweeper and cleanup after a night of pro-Palestinian protesters occupied the engineering building and set fire to a dumpster. Protesters are calling on UW to cut ties with Boeing after the military contractor donated $10 million to build this engineering building. The university says they will not tolerate anti-Semitism on campus.
Israel has launched airstrikes in Yemen days after Houthi rebels fired a missile that hit near Israel's Ben Gurion airport. CBS's Rami Inocencio.
The IDF confirmed that it did launch what it calls a wave of airstrikes and that it has now destroyed the Sana'a International Airport in Yemen's capital. The military there says the airport is now completely disabled.
Catholic cardinals have gathered in Rome to select a new pope. Mary Calvi reports.
2 Americans have seen growing support. 72-year-old Cardinal Joseph Tobin of Newark, New Jersey, a gifted linguist who has served in senior Vatican positions. 69-year-old Cardinal Robert Prevost from Chicago, who heads the Vatican's department overseeing bishops, spent years working in Peru.
The conclave begins tomorrow. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 267 points, NASDAQ off 77. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk in Kirkland, a lane is blocked on I-405 southbound near Northeast 70th Place. You're backed up to Northeast 85th Street. Other than that, no major blocking problems and your travel times continue to improve. Everett to Seattle will take you about half an hour. Federal Way to Seattle, 22 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, 16. All of those are right on target. Traffic brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. For all your heating, electrical, septic, and mechanical needs, stop freaking, call Beacon. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly sunny skies today with highs around 77. It's 68 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. If you guys were stuck in traffic yesterday, if you are one of our listeners down south and you found yourself on the road waiting for hours and hours and hours, hopefully we have some answers for you. The Hood Canal Bridge, you see this, Spike? Hood Canal Bridge was closed?
Yeah.
Indefinitely, they said.
Well, it was an 8-hour closure.
It ended up being about an 8-hour closure.
And there, go ahead, Chris.
Well, let's welcome Chris Sullivan to the show.
Sorry, I jumped right in there.
What happened?
Okay, it's my fault.
We know. Did you shut down the bridge again?
Yeah, I did. So basically what happened is that they opened it up for a boat and didn't want to close. And so they couldn't figure out what the mechanical issue was. And so for about 8 or 9 hours, it was open, meaning cars couldn't pass. The bridge was basically closed for vehicular traffic. They actually had to get a tugboat in there to kind of wedge it back in there and try to get it back open.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Have you hit it with a big hammer?
Yeah, basically they got a bunch of people out there swimming on the backs of orcas and they just pushed it back into place. So they got it open got it open to traffic last night about 11 o'clock.
Wild.
And they're still looking for the reason.
They don't know?
They still don't know. No. In fact, today they have a dive team in the water inspecting. They're going underneath it to try to figure out what's wrong with the mechanism or what exactly the failure was. So they're still trying to figure this out to find out exactly, one, why it happened, and two, why they were unable to get it back to where they should be. So, but yeah, that's a vital lifeline for people. If you get stuck behind that for 8 hours, you're done.
You're done. I felt so bad because we often will take that bridge in the summertime.
Of course.
As everyone knows, the ferry system just gets way, way, way bogged down because everybody goes, oh, hey, wouldn't it be fun to take a ferry ride? On the weekends, it's almost impossible to get on the ferry on the weekends in under 3 hours.
Right. 3 boats. Yeah.
Yeah. And so because we have all these kids in the car, that's like a living hell on earth to sit in the car with those kids for 3+ hours. And so what we do instead is we drive around. We head down south. We take the Hood Canal Bridge, and then we get back up on the other side, which is my in-laws' house is over there.
Yep.
And that's the way that we go. I cannot imagine waiting in that, because what do you do if the bridge is just
you've got
closed
nothing
for 8 hours?
So
what's your options?
You're driving up through Silverdale and Posable, heading north of Bremerton to get up that way to get to 104 and head across. You had nowhere to go. Basically, to turn around, go all the way back around to the east and catch a ferry way further north, because even if you took the ferry over, you'd still be stuck behind 104 because it would still be there was nowhere to go. I mean, you could have gone over to 101 pretty much, or you could drive up through the Quinault National Forest and find your way into Nia Bay, and then you're like, okay,
find the nearest casino and go gambling.
They opened the road into the Hof Rainforest, right? Because otherwise you're stuck there too.
They just did, yeah. Right. So that could have been an option.
I love this place.
I mean, there's no options there. I mean, it's a body of water, and yeah, if that was closed like it was, if that had been an extended closure like through today, and who knows what the future is going to hold for that. Yeah, that is a major lifeline.
So you said today they got underwater divers examining the mechanisms, finding out what went wrong because they still don't know. When they figure what went wrong and they figure if there may be a time that they have to disable this bridge.
Possible.
Then there really is no alternate route except for the long way around or north, or
yeah,
like
you go all the way to north.
Deception Pass.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's that. Those are your options, and then you consider that going up that way, Chuckanut Drive is still closed.
And there's not an extra ferry boat that could throw up there and just kind of shuttle us across.
Not really. So we'll have to wait and see. This is going to be interesting to see what they find. Hopefully, it's not that big of a deal, but
it's
a
huge. I mean, that bridge gets so much traffic. I was
Freight
looking this up
traffic
earlier.
too.
Well, I mean, like just when you count the cars, daily 15,000 cars use that bridge.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they got nowhere to go.
Yeah, pretty much. Imagine
it could be a really great thing for the local businesses. If everybody's stuck there for 8 hours, they got to do something.
True, but imagine you worked on one side or the other and lived on the other.
Oh.
You'd
horrible.
You'd have to take a boat to work. Like everybody pile in on the south side and we'll meet you across.
So there is just no alternative. People
not in terms of anything.
But it's open now. I mean,
it's open now. It's working, but we'll see what the future holds for that and what they find out today. Hopefully, as I said, it won't be anything huge.
Are they suspending marine traffic?
No, but they still have, according to the information we got earlier today, they're allowing for partial boat access. I'm not a mariner. I'm not sure what that means.
And it doesn't require to open the bridge.
Correct. That's a federal requirement, right? That's a navigable waterway is what they call it. But they're saying partial boat access, which means, I don't know if that means by the size of your vessel. If you're going through on your little fish 30-footer, fine. But if you're trying to take a sub through there, probably not happening.
The spans along the banks, they shouldn't have to raise the bridge up to go past.
Correct.
That's fine.
So there's partial maritime access, but I'm not exactly sure what that means.
Speaking of subs, what's the bridge? I take it all the time, but it's the floating bridge up north on the way to Port Townsend. What's that bridge called? It's an open.
That's the Hood Canal Bridge. No, are you thinking of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge this whole time?
Yes.
If the Tacoma Narrows Bridge was closed by marine, have you heard of Galloping Gurney?
You know that doesn't open, right? The Narrows Bridge not supposed to open at all.
That one's in Tacoma. The Hood Canal Bridge is the one on the water. Over there. So you were partially right when you said you went south, but that kind of confused me. But now it makes a lot more sense.
Correct for the audience because I did say south.
That makes.
I was thinking Tacoma Narrows Bridge.
Okay.
Yeah,
it makes a lot more sense. This conversation is clicking.
I'm all red faced now. Which actually, Oh, geez, Louise. 15,000 cars is not that much for the Tacoma Narrows. When I read that number,
no.
I looked there, I said, Hood Canal, 15,000 cars.
That's a slow day.
And I was just like, Tacoma Narrows, I was like, that doesn't seem like a ton of cars for Tacoma.
Do you remember sitting there while the Narrows Bridge opened? I want to know about this. Do you have that memory where the bridge, you stopped and the bridge opened up?
I've been stopped on Tacoma Narrows Bridge all the time for subs.
But not for opening and closing. No, that's why it's so high.
That's why I couldn't figure out on the Tacoma Narrows. I was like, why is that bridge opening?
And why are you calling it a submarine if it's that tall?
It doesn't. The floating bridge that you're talking about.
Side question. Tacoma Narrows Bridge does not open for subs.
Correct.
Not on purpose.
Correct.
Well, this makes a lot more sense.
The last time it did, it ended up on the bottom of the Sound, where it still sits today.
I don't like to sound like an idiot much. But
you're so good at it.
I just sound like a real idiot.
Lean into it.
Wow, this is good stuff.
Well, I realized
I thought that was a bridge.
He's doing this because yesterday I put my foot in it hard.
Oh,
right. I mean,
don't save me.
Twice.
You don't need to save me.
This wasn't on purpose?
No, I swear to God.
Okay. Wow, my stomach is really actually hurting. That's pretty.
Oh my gosh.
You know what?
The
also doesn't open
bridge
anymore?
is a tiny little bridge.
The 520 bridge doesn't open anymore either.
Everybody. There's no. That's the whole point of this was.
I know that. I drive across it all the time.
No, but the Hood Canal
Bridge. I had the whole story about driving south. Why didn't you correct me?
Because I thought you were going south all the way around to get
what? That makes no sense.
Because that's the way to. That's the alternate route. If you're coming from here to try to get across the Hood Canal Bridge, you would have to go all the way around through Tacoma, up through Bremerton Highway 3. That's the alternate.
I had an entire story about how when we take the ferry boats in the summertime and they're all busy and packed up and yada yada, we drive south and we go across the bridge because my in-laws live up on the other side.
That part still works.
That part is still
appropriate. Why would I come back across the bridge? Now I've gone in a circle. That makes no sense.
Well, you have to get home. But no, when you said you went south,
sound as dumb as I did.
No, I was saying that's an actual way to get around the Hood Canals, to go all the way around to the south and then work your way over.
You have to show show needs a map.
If I go south, let's say I try to get on a ferry in Edmonds. If I go south.
Oh, okay. Starting at your house. Okay.
Starting at my house up in Snohomish. I'm going to get on a ferry boat in Edmonds.
Correct.
And
go over there, go up to the Hood Canal Bridge.
Right.
No. I go down. You can't get to the Hood Canal Bridge until I've already gone on a ferry.
Correct.
Right. Correct. From your house up there.
Up
correct. Doing that. Yeah.
So
but
if I went down to the Comaneros and I work my way back to the Hood Canal Bridge, I've now gone in a full circle. And that
is
makes no
true.
sense.
But I'm saying if you didn't want to take a ferry, I thought you were talking about waiting for 3 boats. In that time, you could make that 90-minute trip around.
What I'm trying
driving,
to do is
you'd still get in the same place.
I've done after missing one boat. I've decided to drive around.
I'm obviously deflecting, and I'm trying to make you sound
but
stupid.
But it makes sense.
Now I sound stupid. There's no fixing it.
Let's face it. Right now, we all sound stupid.
No, you guys sound great. You guys sound great. You were both being very accommodating and kind, and you were talking to me like I was a small child who didn't notice. But you were being very gracious, and so the audience should know that you guys are both very gracious, nice guys.
Our listeners are also slightly dumber right now for having listened to this, but that's okay.
And everyone is dumber for having listened to what you said.
I award you no points.
Thank you.
Finish it off.
See, I knew where we were going.
May God have mercy on your soul.
Just for everybody to know, Hood Canal, floating. Tacoma Narrows, not floating.
That's a suspension bridge.
Right. Yes, it is.
Okay. That doesn't open for
No, it's way too high.
Or for ferry boats.
No, it doesn't open for anything unless you built it incorrectly and the wind shows up.
I'm sweating now, and that makes a lot more sense. Good job, everyone. I believe we've arrived at the correct version of everything.
Is that it's open and we still don't know what caused it to close.
At least we know which bridge we're talking about.
Spike and I always did.
All right, whatever. We got to go. We'll be right back.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
Well, you're getting ready every morning. Make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. I got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO Newsradio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
Well, here in our region, it's really common for homes to have damaged insulation or even no insulation at all in their crawl space or attic. Well, in the winter, that'll make your home cold and drafty. And in the summer months, it can turn your home into an oven. It's Mike Salk here, and utility companies have special incentives right now to help with the cost of having your home properly insulated, including a once-in-a-lifetime rebate from Puget Sound Energy. So if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yes, they will cover up to 95% of the cost. And if you're anything like me, you love the idea of somebody else paying to improve your home, add value to it, and save you money along the way. How good does that sound? Don't wait. Call Crawl Pros to learn what's going on behind that crawl space and attic hatch for free, and then what energy rebates you're eligible for. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
Hey, we've got Wes Jones here of sellwithwes.com. Wes, what if I'm a home seller, but I've got a unique property? Maybe I have a lot of acreage or a horse pasture or a castle and a moat or a house with some sort of unique design. Can you help with that?
If you've got something like that, I definitely want to hear from you guys. You working with unique properties is one of my favorite things to do in real estate. And the reason why is I get to utilize my full arsenal of marketing techniques. We can do aerial photography, we can do video walkthroughs, we can do actual video, we can do target marketing. But one of the unique things that I can do that other realtors don't is some of the access to other media that I can advertise your properties in. The local blogs, Seattle Times, King 5, all of my properties have been featured on programs like those.
That's Wes Jones of sellwithwes.com. He sold a ton of unique properties and he can sell yours too. Sellwithwes.com, sellwithwes.com, a better way to sell your home.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like frames, because you found a classic 70s concert poster. But when you went to get it framed, you realized the frame will cost about 4 times the amount of the poster, which is actually absurd because no one will be looking at the frame, and if they are, then you severely overestimated how cool this poster is. But then you remember by switching your home and auto to Progressive, you could save hundreds and put it towards a classic 70s concert poster in an absurdly overpriced frame. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Flace with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Kids are full of energy, but keeping them active in their teen years can be a challenge. Aim for an hour of physical activity every day. If they like sports, that's a great place to start. Keep the focus on fun, not winning, and encourage your child to do a variety of activities. If your child isn't meeting that 60-minute goal, gradually increase their activity in ways they enjoy. For more, talk with your pediatrician or visit healthychildren.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
We all get a good feeling when we show up for others. That's what Give Big is all about. Give Big is Washington's annual statewide giving campaign, May 6th and 7th. Visit wagives.org to discover and donate to nonprofits making good things happen.
I'm Macy House with Baird Global Investment Banking. In today's markets, global financial capabilities aren't worth much without personal attention to your priorities. Baird Banking, Research, and Private Equity professionals are located across 3 continents, sharing more than investment expertise. As employee owners of our firm, we all have a personal stake in your success, here in the Pacific Northwest and around the world. Discover the Baird difference. Visit rwbaird.com/Seattle.
And we're back.
Sorry, I was eating food before the camera. You guys should watch us on YouTube Live, and you can see how red my face is from looking stupid.
It's a common mistake. People make it.
It's a common mistake. Also, I've been outside a lot lately, so maybe they'll just think it's a sunburn or high blood pressure. Yeah, I didn't know the difference between the Tacoma Narrows and the
Hood Canal Bridge.
Hood Canal Bridge. Yeah. Whatever, it happens.
What got me about that whole story, and it wasn't your confusion on the bridges. It's
my blunder.
No, when the bridge is closed, with regard to Hood Canal,
Sure.
when the bridge is closed, the road is open. And when the bridge is open, the road is closed.
There's an analogy in there for life somewhere.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
There's no easy way around this, people.
When God closes a door,
you sit for 8 hours.
He opens a bridge somewhere. Can I play you some audio that's going to make you smile?
Sure,
even,
yeah, of
even
course.
more than the laughing that you're doing at me right now?
Of course.
Which is also totally fine. You know what? I very easily could have gotten offended that I sounded so stupid, but I had no place to be offended. I sounded like an idiot, and that's okay sometimes.
Look at you.
Everybody sounds like an idiot from time to time.
I bet we do.
We talk for 3 hours a day.
Yep.
I'm going to sound like an idiot multiple times on the show. And you know what? That's what the show is. Couple of morons working their way through life.
Making you feel better about yourselves at home.
Making you
right?
feel better about being smarter than we are.
You're sitting at home thinking, man, I could do that.
These guys are idiots, they say. But people are tuning in. They're liking it. We're getting very good ratings, and people are enjoying watching us being stupid.
And that's before you play this next bit.
And that's
people
listen
love
to this. This is going to make your day. You're going to want to go out and share this with somebody. You should watch on the YouTube cam too, because Spike's face. You haven't listened to this audio yet.
I have not.
Okay, watch the joy on Spike's face. Go to YouTube. I'm going to give you 20 seconds to do it right now. Go to YouTube Live. Go to the Jake and Spike Show live YouTube page, and you watch the joy in Spike's face as he listens to Taken, the musical. Have you heard this yet?
No, Taken
with Liam Neeson. The musical. Somebody put it to music. What a great idea, right?
Brilliant, yeah.
Yeah, I'd watch that. I'd watch Taken the musical. All right, this is Taken.
Which one of you is Marco? Which one of you is Marco?
Right?
Good luck. This is that pivotal scene where his daughter's
Special Set of Skills?
Taken.
This one?
Special Set of Skills.
Oh, yes. Perfect,
And
of course.
this song on the Taken the Music, the album would probably be called Special Set of Skills.
Right, and this is the end of Act 1. As
This
all
is the
good
end of Act
musicals,
1.
right?
Yep. There you go. You know more about musicals than I do. That makes sense.
This is brilliant.
Yeah, here we go.
I don't know who you are, I don't know what you want. If you let my daughter go, that'll be the end of it. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you and I will kill you. But I do have a very particular set of skills. Skills I have acquired over a long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you, I don't know who you are, I don't know what you want. If you let my daughter go, that'll be the end of it. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you and I will kill you.
Oh,
Isn't
and
that
the crowd roars. The curtain comes down. It's intermission time.
That's so great. My favorite part is the background screaming.
Yeah.
Which is at a very specific tune.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's when she's dragged from under the bed being abducted.
You're right.
Right?
Yeah.
And you have that off to the side of the stage.
So
right?
great. And you're seeing her being dragged across the stage.
Yeah, right. And he's up there on the, I don't know who you are.
He'd also be in the corner and he wouldn't like, she's right there, but he wouldn't be able to see her because it's a stage. Right. Yeah. And they're acting.
Split reality of live theater.
Let's go out on this music. This is so good.
I don't know who you are, I don't know what you want.
Catchy.
If you let my daughter go, that'll be the end of it. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you and I will kill you.
And
Liam
Neeson's got to do this on stage.
Yeah,
he's got great comedy chops.
You nail it. Right? You nail it. Absolutely. All right. I hope that makes up for some of my stupidity. I know it doesn't, but I hope it does. We got a lot more coming up. There was a big protest at UW. A bunch of arrests that were made.
Yeah.
Things were set on fire. Crazy times. But just another day at the University of Washington. We will get into that next. Stick around. We'll be right back.
I will look for you. I will find you and I will kill you.
The John Curley Show, weekdays 3 to 7.
It's an exciting night at my house last night. Nick came home. She's all excited. This shirt she found was $80. So she's sitting there talking to me, and all of a sudden she goes, I can't breathe. Cut me out of it. I was like, cut you out of it? It was $80. I got it for $11. Why'd you even buy it? Because it was $80. I got it for $11. I knew it wouldn't fit, but it was so cheap.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube, weekdays 3 to 7.
Cold is beginning, rocks are moving, and mold is creeping, and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
2025 is the year to break up with bad contractors. You know the ones. They ghost your calls, cancel on you last minute, leave a mess behind, and refuse to commit. If you're ready to settle down, swipe right on Valentine Roofing. Our team delivers seamless communication from start to finish, meticulously clean job sites, and we stand by our work with a lifetime warranty. We don't just make promises, we're committed to providing you with the Valentine experience, one you'll never forget. And with flexible financing options like 0 down and 0% interest until 2026, your wallet will love Valentine Roofing too. Stop dating around to find the right contractor. Valentine Roofing offers an upfront and honest approach to roofing. We'll provide a transparent estimate within about an hour of meeting with us. So, say goodbye to bad contractor relationships and hello to your Valentine, the perfect match for all your roofing needs. Schedule your heartbreak-free estimate today by calling us at 206 Roofing.
It's clogged again.
Your drain?
Just had it cleared.
You didn't call Apollo Plumbing.
How can you tell?
Because your drain's clogged again.
So frustrating.
We can clear that drain.
That's what the last guy said.
We'll clear it, guaranteed.
He said that too.
Apollo Plumbing will clear your drain, or it's free.
Wait, what?
Apollo Plumbing clears your drain.
Or it's free?
Yep.
What's the catch?
No catch.
Fine print?
Apollo Plumbing clears your main drain for $83.
$83, or it's free?
And we'll even give you a camera inspection.
Because?
It's the best way to find what's causing your clog.
But that's extra.
Nope. Included.
No extra charge?
Not 1 cent.
$83, or it's free.
All it takes is an accessible outside cleanout.
And an Apollo plumber.
No clog is safe from Apollo Plumbing.
And just like that, my main drain is...
Draining again.
How can you...
Apollo plumbers are that good.
83, or it's free.
You call, we come.
My drain's draining again.
Guaranteed.
83, or it's free.
As it should be.
Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
It's John Curley with a big deal from Window Nation. During their semi-annual sale, right now, get 60% off. And if you buy windows for your entire house, you get a free exterior door, too. And you could get 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments locked in for 2 years. Their energy-efficient windows help cut noise, lower your bills, and reduce your carbon footprint, all with modern style. Backed by a 25-year warranty and transparent pricing, Window Nation gives you the long-lasting comfort without the gimmicks. Made locally with no guard right here in Tacoma, 866-90Nation or windownation.com.
Before taking your next flight, you'll need to be prepared. Start off with a visit to realidwa.com.
New ID requirements for travel go into effect on May 7th, 2025.
There are multiple forms of ID you can use.
Whatever option you choose, make sure you have it with you before heading to the airport.
That way, you can travel stress-free.
Don't wait. Prepare today so we can fly together.
It's your final boarding call for Real ID.
Visit realidwa.com.
Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed's sponsored jobs feature helps you stand out and hire fast. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. President Trump says the Houthi rebels in Yemen, who have been attacking ships for years in the Red Sea, have capitulated.
They don't want to be bombed anymore, you know. I sort of thought that would happen.
The State Department spokeswoman Tammy Bruce.
Neither side will target the other, including American vessels in the Red Sea and the Bab el-Mandab Strait, ensuring freedom of navigation and the smooth flow of international commercial shipping.
Israel struck the rebels overnight, wiping out the airport in Yemen's capital and hitting several power plants and tunnels. President Trump hosted Canada's new prime minister at the White House today. Linda Kenyon reports.
The president said trade tariffs against Canada are necessary.
Why are we subsidizing Canada $200 billion a year, or whatever the number might be? It's a very substantial number.
Prime Minister Carney called Trump a transformational president, but suggested that Trump will never make Canada the 51st state.
It's not for sale, won't be for sale ever, but the opportunity is in the partnership.
Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
The Supreme Court is allowing a ban on transgender service members to continue for now.
This is an issue that I expect to be fought in the courts, but while it's fought, the Supreme Court has deferred to the administration.
Legal analyst Lori Levinson.
The Trump order is particularly controversial because indeed transgender members want to stay in the military. They want to serve the nation. But the administration administration have said that they are not proper for service.
The deadline to have a real ID is tomorrow. CBS's Christina Fan is in New Jersey checking on the chance of getting a last-minute appointment at a motor vehicle office.
We scoured the state's website for the next available real ID time slot and didn't find one until the month of July. And that is bad news considering the fact that New Jersey currently has the lowest rate of real ID compliance in the country at just 17%.
Nationwide, the percentage is 81%. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said today you'll still be able to fly without one, but expect delays at the airport for additional screening. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced what she said is the largest fentanyl seizure in U.S. history. She says more than 3 million pills were seized and members of a drug cartel arrested.
6 of these individuals were here illegally. That won't shock you. And we're running a massive, massive drug operation.
On Wall Street at the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrials finished the day 390 points lower. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The handyman accused of killing a Tenino grandmother goes to court. The story coming up at first. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk in Seattle, a disabled vehicle is partially blocking a lane on I-5 southbound near North 85th Street. You're backed up to Northgate Way. Not sure why, but you have a slowdown on southbound I-405 from Bellevue to Renton. Travel time between those two cities is 27 minutes. That's 10 longer than typical. Other than that, travel times are overall on target right now. Traffic brought to you by FRS Clipper. Save on a Victoria, BC getaway during FRS Clipper Spring Sale. Clipper Fast Ferry plus 2 nights hotel up to 20% off at FRSClipper.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Heather Bosch. A Thurston County handyman accused of murdering an 82-year-old Tenino grandmother today entered his plea in court.
Mr. Ziz, on your behalf, the court is entering not guilty pleas to the 4 counts.
47-year-old Jeffrey Ziz is charged with first-degree murder, felony murder, kidnapping, and unlawful disposal of remains. Court documents show he had dinner with Marcia Norman April 1st. Days later, her body was found buried in concrete under a shed. He's due back in court later this month. Police are crediting the public for helping them arrest a 43-year-old motorcycle rider who's accused in a deadly hit-and-run crash in South Seattle.
Many tips came in that helped us to identify the make and model and year of that motorcycle. We received additional tips for suspect information.
Police tell KIRO 7 TV the suspect's accused of hitting and killing a woman and injuring her husband 2.5 weeks ago. King County authorities announcing a major drug bust.
The sheriff's office says this past Friday, detectives, deputies, and their police dog Quinn arrested 2 people. It was the culmination of a 2-month investigation. The bust got more than 5 pounds of drugs off the streets, worth about $193,000. And that includes heroin, cocaine, meth, crack, and fentanyl. Detectives also seized more than $91,000 in cash and 2 vehicles. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Washington state leaders are warning that the upcoming wildfire season could be more destructive and dangerous than usual. Thomas Kyle Millald says Washington Department of Natural Resources is already predicting more fire activity. Add to that a federal funding freeze, layoffs, and the late hiring of federal fire crews.
The likely expectation will be that DNR and other state and local entities will have to sort of shoulder more of the burden.
Spokane faces a particular threat. More on that from KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
Forecasters predict Spokane County could see summer temperatures up to 3 degrees hotter than average. The county is already 22% drier than average. Not in a drought yet, but Department of Ecology experts are monitoring the water supply. Reduced snowpack and ongoing dry weather also raise the likelihood of a longer wildfire season, potentially starting earlier and extending into fall.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly sunny today with highs around 77. It's 68 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. You guys can watch us live on YouTube, the Jake and Spike Show YouTube live page. Ton of fun. We can chat with each other on the text line, 888-973-5476. You can also chat on the YouTube page, and you can chat with each other, which is a lot of fun. You can watch us during all the commercial breaks where you can see all the amazing fun things that people do in radio when we're not talking on the radio, like eating Pop-Tarts and throwing little balls of paper into cups.
That was quite a competition last week. Quite a competition.
We should bring it back.
Should.
How about next break? You and I pull out the cup. We throw paper balls at it.
Go for it.
We see who can win.
I like it.
All right.
By the way, Laura beat me last week, too, so let's not exclude Laura from the competition.
She did. But she was shooting from closer than you were.
Yeah, the girl advantage, right?
The girl advantage.
Lady keys.
Producer advantage.
The producer
So
all right.
You let Chef and Joe shoot from those same... Okay, fair enough.
I would hope so.
Fair enough.
No, I wouldn't.
We're not the most athletic bunch.
They're not on our show, so I wouldn't. It's not
fair.
up to us.
That's fair. It's not our decision to make. It's up to the hosts.
All right. Speaking of our show, we're very proud and happy and very lucky to have Luke Ducey, who's a reporter here at KIRO News Radio. He joins us now. Luke, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Luke, you are covering a story that a lot of people are talking about in the news. Everybody's talking about it. The protests at the University of Washington. I saw a video of them actually walking police officers off of their area where they were protesting, which was kind of amazing to watch. You're watching Seattle Police Department officers being pushed back by these protesters and just kind of giving into whatever they're doing at the time. What happened? How did a fire start? Tell us all about it.
You know, these are the same protesters about a year ago that set up an encampment on the UW campus and for a couple of weeks. And then this past February, that ramped up to a march over calling for Boeing to cut ties with, or UW to cut ties with Boeing as well. And we'll get to that in just a second. And now here we are, another iteration, same protesters, and it ramped up a little bit. It got... I don't know if you'd say violent, but
destructive? Is that
destructive
fair? Okay.
for sure?
Usually with fires, yeah.
Destructive, absolutely. But it had the potential to be really violent, and I'll tell you why in just a second. So this group of pro-Palestinian protesters barricaded themselves inside the interdisciplinary engineering building, which is at the heart of the UW campus, right across from the hub. If you know where that is. They were calling on UW to cut ties with Boeing. Boeing, which is also a military contractor, donated some $10 million to have that engineering building created. Protesters posted the photos and names of people killed by the ongoing military conflict in Gaza on the building, on the glass from inside the building, saying Boeing has a hand in their deaths. Then around 10:30 last night, state troopers, UW police, and Seattle police moved in. They said that's enough. After about 6 hours, and they arrested some 30 protesters. Here's reaction from UW students. I got reaction this morning from people like Karen here. This is what she said.
Generally speaking, I support the students' right to free speech and protest.
But also from people like Troy.
So I would say that vandalism, especially to a campus like this, is not ever okay.
And so here's what I saw on the scene, and let me get into the why this was potentially really scary here. In the quad there, the engineering building, I saw them barricade the barricades against the doors. They use like furniture, construction signs, scooters, anything they could really get their hand on to barricades the doors from keeping people from getting inside the building where they were staging this protest. There were chalk messages on the concrete like "Free Gaza, Free Palestine," and down the street in an alley, like you mentioned, Jake, there was a fire inside a dumpster. They burned like 6 to 7 Lime rental bikes as well, so those melted. But then I walked up the sidewalk, and right at the beginning of the building, kind of up the street, up a hill, this is what I found. I found there were these thick wood poles that, the kind of poles that you put in a garden to hold up a young sapling or a tree as it grows.
Yeah.
Stakes. Yeah, stakes. A post. Pretty big. Like a post. Pretty big. Ripped off. There were about 5 or 6 of them clustered together, like ready to use, like be grabbed and used as a weapon. I saw a bunch of bike racks and a sculpture that I assumed was just from the engineering school where I was. Some UW maintenance workers told me, no. Those were dragged here and carried here from different parts of the campus. So some protesters then lined those up in the streets. And then I saw piles of rocks, about four of them in different areas on the street next to curbs. There were no rock gardens in the area. There were no rocks. It was all bark. So these rocks the size of fists, about my fist. So some of these protesters, not all of them, up on the hill closer to where police were, they had weapons. And they were, I don't know, ready to use them, but they certainly had them ready to be used.
They've staged. They staged those different points for turning things violent.
Yeah, and
that's hard to see
that
any other
was
way.
Potentially really scary.
That is really scary. The rocks is crazy to me. I mean, all of it seems crazy to me. I just can't imagine. And here's some audio actually of this is the UW protesters shouting at cops who are, vastly outnumbered, at least in this video, and the cops are being kind of walked out of an area. And what are the protesters holding here? It looks like in the video they've cut garbage cans in half and they're using those as like makeshift shields.
Yeah,
exactly.
And
they actually, I saw some of these, and they taped them together and they put cardboard in between them as well, so they were like shields. Yeah.
What's the old thing that Romans used to hold? They'd make a and they'd form a phalanx.
Phalanx, yeah. Phalanx, yeah.
But like is this an Antifa thing? Are these Antifa folks?
I can't begin to speculate.
They're all totally dressed in black. Their faces are covered in black.
Yeah, that's typical.
I thought I saw A's on some of the anarchy on some of the.
Right.
So are these UW students or who are these people?
We
have no idea who
they
they
don't
are.
know if these are all UW students, some UW students, outside agitators that have infiltrated UW student.
Well, we'll find out shortly, right?
The group is Super UW, right? Which, if I got it correct, stands for, where is it? Oh, it was right here. Students United for Palestinian Equity and Return. Super UW.
Super.
Now, these are UW students with legitimate concerns, humanitarian, political concerns about the Palestinian situation in Gaza and the rights of Palestinian citizens with this conflict. Those are all valid concerns and reasons to have valid opinions and protests even.
But a protest is not piles of rocks and
Bingo.
bunches of sticks,
right.
lighting things on fire.
A protest isn't even building occupation. I think that's gone too far.
Shoving police
lighting
off
fire,
campus.
Two different dumpsters were lit on fire, right? According to the story I'm reading here.
Could be. I saw one.
The latest from the Times says 2 dumpster fires were started in a building with barricades, exits barricaded. The potential for horrific disaster and tragedy. This is all the ingredients. Staged weapons to escalate things to a violent interaction with cops that came out in riot gear. And 30 arrests were made, as it should be. Mm-hmm. And like you said a moment ago, we'll find out through hearings how many were actual students.
Sure.
How many were agitators that joined in. Because that's often the case, is that these outside forces, outside of the UW students who have these concerns, they come in and they infiltrate and overtake and pervert what are often intended to be these peaceful protests for people with valid concerns, at least in their minds, not picking sides in this, but they have the right to and the ability to protest and make their voices and concerns known. And then they're taken over by oftentimes taken over by very violent groups.
Let me play the rest
Things
of
get ugly.
This clip here.
Beating on the shields.
Yeah.
This is to the law enforcement as they push police off their positions, right? I mean, these are people starting physical confrontations.
I don't know this. I guess we'll just wait until we find out more information for who got arrested. I would be very surprised if a lot of these people who were in the black mask, carrying half garbage cans, lighting things on fire, if those are UW students, I'd be surprised.
I would be also shocked.
I think I might be too. I don't think all of them were, and we don't know, but right. I'm going to be surprised if all of these are UW students.
I'm not saying some aren't, because I don't think it's that campus is full of geniuses. Like every college campus, there's a bunch of dum-dums. No, there's truly a bunch of dum-dums on every single college campus. We can all admit that.
Okay, fair.
That's a totally fair statement.
That's fair.
True.
Fair
so I do not put it past them at all that maybe there's plenty of them who participated in this, but I do think a lot of it is outside agitators, and I guess that we'll just have to find out who's arrested.
One of the things UW, though, it's very clear, though, they took a harder line compared to like the encampment that was allowed for weeks last year.
Yeah.
UW said, at one point, we're not going to tolerate this kind of behavior. That was part of their statement. I'm paraphrasing that they put out last night, but it was about 10:30 when they said that's it, and the police went in and made arrests. I saw some things that the protesters left behind at the rally as well, not in the area where there were rocks and sticks, but down below in kind of the quad area, the engineering building, things like they were water bottles, food containers. I saw some empty Red Bull cans, 2 bags full of wool blankets. They were still folded inside the bags, weren't taken out. So, I mean, there were goggles, lab goggles.
Long hauling it,
Yes, lab goggles that were out of a box, but they weren't passed around and used. They were still in a pile. So that tells you a couple things. Yeah, that they would be using those for protection against pepper spray, perhaps, and the blankets because it seems like they thought they were going to be there all night long into the wee hours of the morning. That's when it gets cold. That's when you need blankets like that, but they never pulled those out.
Well, thankfully they got arrested.
Because police stepped in instead.
Thank the Lord that they got arrested. Good for the
It
cops.
may have been their intention to get arrested, too. A lot of times protesters, they want the arrest.
They probably didn't think they were going to get arrested because UW doesn't tend to have any response to these sorts of things.
But to Luke's point, too, last summer's encampment went on for a long, long time. Remember the story of the public speaker who came?
Yeah, we had her on the show.
And that protest turned violent.
And ended in
turned
how many
destructive.
arrests?
Right, none.
0.
Well, that's what I'm saying. UW is tired of this nonsense.
I agree
They're
with you.
Stepping up.
But I think these people probably went into this thinking like, oh, we're at least going to have a short run where we can kind of do whatever we want, light some stuff on fire. But I'm glad they got arrested. Good for the police. I'm glad everybody made it out of there safe. Piles of rocks and stuff, that scary stuff. And I'm glad UW's finally taking this stuff seriously, which they should have done a long time ago. All right, Luke Ducey. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. We'll follow up with you when we know more about who was arrested. All right, we got a lot more to talk about. Spike, are you all caught up on your Real ID? Are you ready to go? This is a big story.
Absolutely.
Nationally, this is a big story.
I was telling Laura earlier, I lucked out. My birthday falls in January.
Mm-hmm.
My license had expired.
Oh, so you had motivation.
I had absolute reason, not just because the government is changing its standard for safe travel in their eyes, but I need a new ID. And it was, okay, bring what you need to bring. And I learned from lessons like Chris Sullivan, who didn't bring 18 different verifiable methods of identification. I brought everything to my Real ID. I had a briefcase full of stuff to bring to these folks. I showed them a couple of valid forms of ID, and got it.
DNA sample?
DNA sample.
You brought a stool sample as well?
I did, because I wanted to be thorough.
Just make sure they have everything they need.
A tax return, W-2 form, pay slip, utility bill, my passport. I had it all.
Hair clipping?
Hair clipping, sure.
Anything they might need. Anything they might need.
Swab from inside my cheek. Whatever they wanted. I was ready to go. And I got in and I lucked out. I got there, it was in January, so when I lined up I couldn't get an appointment at that point.
Yeah.
I couldn't get an appointment for months. It was already months booked out. I lined up at 8 in the morning before an 8:30 opening. I was the second guy in line with that appointment and out in under an hour.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
I was reading the Seattle Times piece on the Real ID. Deadline looming. It feels to me like weather coverage. Like when they talk about like crazy weather's coming. It's clickbait. This feels to me a little clickbaity, this whole Real ID thing. Everybody's treating it like it's the end of the world. You just have to have an enhanced ID base. I mean, it's a Real ID. It's an enhancement of your current ID.
Yeah.
But they've known about this for 15 years.
Yes, exactly.
So
but
people are all
America.
freaking out about
That's
it.
America. We push it down we push everything down the tracks.
But listen to these stories. I do feel like these are overblown a little bit. I feel like maybe these are a little overblown. Listen to this story. On Monday afternoon, outside of Seattle's Queen Anne office, I'm going to play some sad music, some dramatic music with this. On Monday afternoon, outside of Seattle's Queen Anne office, some people said that they'd been waiting in line for more than 5 hours. 5 hours is a long time. Trying to get this done is impossible, said Corey Johnson, 32. I've done this 3 times, but this is the longest I've seen. On his previous attempts, he learned the hard way after another hours-long wait that he needed a government-issued birth certificate. I'll pause the music there. Because you discovered this as well. You need a lot of forms.
Yeah.
So he didn't have the right thing. Instead, he had the hospital version that he brought. He said that he wished the agent he spoke with at the time had told him about these vital records that you would need to have in office. He says he's hoping he won't have to cancel a river rafting trip with his dad just because of a lack of enhanced ID. He could also just drive to it if he wants to. But obviously, I hope he gets it. As he waited on Monday, some folks fanned themselves. Get the music going again. Fanned themselves and shielded their eyes with their documents as temperatures reached the mid-60s.
In Seattle in the springtime.
My goodness.
No worse place on earth.
Mid-60s. Another person named Bernita Harmon leaned on her cane and took a break along a shaded part of the sidewalk. It was Harmon's second try to get an enhanced ID. Last time she waited 4 hours, only to find out, indeed, she also needed a birth certificate as further documentation. She said that she has a flight on Thursday and she's still hoping she'll get on board. Traber Campbell, 46 of Seattle, got his enhanced license in April. He planned a trip to Georgia in May, and he said he forgot about needing the real ID for air travel until his wife reminded him. That's a good wife. He got lucky on an appointment in Shoreline, and he got through right away. Said it was an easy process. So I'll end the music sadly for him.
That's the same office I went into.
Because it was a great office.
Yeah.
So you would suggest Shoreline?
No, not at this stage. No. Not unless you've got 5 hours to kill. Unless you want to camp out overnight like they were going out for Aerosmith tickets in 1978. You want to get online. You want to be the first in line. If you don't have an appointment, then you may get through.
Otherwise, you're this 5 hour guy.
Otherwise, you're 5 hour guy or worse. And it's Seattle. It might hit 77. Imagine those people today. It's 77.
Oh, my gosh. I hope somebody's passing out water for these poor souls.
I'm kidding. But, here's the story. Because people are worried about concerns of inability to travel without the real ID come tomorrow. And this comes from the top. Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. You know her, you love her. People will be allowed to fly tomorrow if they have not obtained a real ID as of yet.
Yeah, that's great.
There's just going to be additional security scrutiny if you get through. If you get into a line and you don't have a real ID tomorrow and you got to wait through the process and then get to the front of the line only to be told to go downstairs or wherever they subterranean level of newfound hell, they send you for the additional screening, that's on you. If you don't have a real ID tomorrow, go up to somebody up front and say, I don't have a real ID. What's the next step look like? Save yourself that first line and just get in the idiot line. Pardon me. Get in the procrastinator's line.
The turn your head and cough
turn your head and cough line. And wear clean civvies.
That'd
tomorrow.
be nice.
For your sake and those doing the checking.
Absolutely.
You'll get, my point is you'll get through, plan accordingly, give yourself more time. Because tomorrow it's not gonna be the hard, fast lockdown. If you don't have it, you ain't traveling. We haven't gotten there. They know this is still America, and we still procrastinate.
I haven't gotten it yet. I don't plan on flying anytime soon, so I'm waiting until the lines die down.
But you're a passport holder.
It just expired.
Did it really?
Yeah, so I'm stuck. But I never fly anywhere that I can't drive within a day.
Okay. So that's smart.
I'll be fine. I mean, it's just like that's the way it works out. Anything I'm interested in going to, I could probably get to within a day of driving. So,
well, if you've got no rush,
I got no rush.
Book yourself an appointment now at a Department of Licensing.
Because you can book an appointment.
You can book an appointment. It's months down the road.
That's fine.
Laura's an international traveler. She's got a passport. Doesn't have a real ID. Doesn't need one.
Sure.
You don't need one unless you don't have a passport.
I'm going to Chicago next week, and I'm just going to bring a passport
there you go.
to go to Chicago, which feels a little weird, but it's better than waiting in line.
Yeah, it is better. Good for you. Get some pizza while you're there.
I'm going to get some
Chicago
Garrett's
pizza.
popcorn is what I'm going to get.
Boom, baby.
Whew. Love that stuff.
Bring some back for the show?
If you're nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Someone didn't share his ribs yesterday, so.
No.
Or his Pop-Tarts today.
I didn't.
I'm just saying.
Or his Pop-Tarts.
You folks who are watching the YouTube channel can see the
My
cornucopia of deliciousness that Jake Skorheim enjoys during the commercial break.
In front of our faces.
Yeah, and noses.
The Lord has blessed me with a good metabolism. I need to be eating all the time, or I get a little hangry. I'll admit it.
A little peakish.
I get a little hangry, so I got to keep the calories flowing. I got to keep my sugar up. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Speaking of hangry and speaking of meat, Vanity Fair, what is this? They blame MAGA for America's obsession with meat?
Yeah, apparently America didn't love steak until MAGA showed up.
Oh, come on, Vanity Fair.
Thank you.
Spike, you're going to tell us all about this next. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
Nearly everyone wants to grow old in their own home. Yet, according to research conducted by Stanford University, 70% of Americans will not achieve this goal, despite having done a lot of retirement planning. Now, why does this happen? Hi, I'm Rajiv Nagaich, an elder law attorney who's been studying this phenomena for the last 20 plus years. The problem isn't the planning that you do. The problem is what you haven't been told. That's why retirement becomes a nightmare. Now, if you're wondering what you haven't been told, come to one of my retirement seminars this month. I'll shine the spotlight in all the dark corners so you can retire with confidence.
Join the free seminar in Federal Way on May 13th, Tacoma on May 15th, or Bellevue on May 17th. Register at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com. Or call 253-838-3454.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See with the full details and disclaimer.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Worried about your battery and the heat? We get it. You don't want to get stranded somewhere with a car that feels like an oven. We've got you covered at AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Our free battery testing and charging service can help. And if you need a battery, we'll help you find a new one, no problem. Power through with free battery testing and charging at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Did you know that over the past 10 years, home values have increased the most during the first quarter of the year? So how much is your home worth right now? Check it out instantly at sellwithwest.com. Sure, there are other apps out there you can use, but most of them are national companies. If you want local expertise, someone who actually knows what's happening with the housing market in your neighborhood, there's no one more local than Wes Jones. If you're even thinking about making a move in 2025, go to sellwithwest.com, sellwithwest.com, and start by using their free home value calculator to see what your home is worth. It might be worth more than you think. You'll get so much more than just a number from Wes Jones. We're talking about recent sales in your neighborhood, the market temperature in your city, side-by-side comparisons of multiple online estimates. You can even calculate how much equity you have, and even a breakdown of how your home's value has changed over time. So here's what you have to do. Go to sellwithwest.com, type in your address, and bam, you'll have instant access to all of this and more. It's fast, easy, it's local. Sellwithwest.com, a better way to sell your home.
When we reach our golden years, it's natural to want to stay in our homes. We've worked hard for them, but as our minds and bodies age, the home can become an unsafe place where loneliness thrives. Amanda here for Care Partners Senior Living. Our communities offer safe living spaces and managed common areas with medical professionals on site and ready to help. We assist you with your mobility when needed, allowing you to socialize or participate in activities whenever you like. Care Partners Senior Living provides both privacy and socialization at your desired pace. You aren't living alone in our communities because help is always nearby. And believe it or not, community living can be more cost-effective than in-home care. With locations throughout Washington and Arizona, you'll find a Care Partners community near you. Care, it's in our name and what we do. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com.
With 30 communities, including Covington, Bremerton, Snohomish, and the grand opening of North Creek Bothell, there's quality senior care at an affordable price near you. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Ladies, and you guys too, have you noticed visible signs of aging, those deep wrinkles, fine lines, and facial creases stealing your youthful glow? Sagging skin, crow's feet, and loss of facial contour are all natural effects of aging, but you no longer have to let them define your appearance. Introducing the New Skin Lift, the groundbreaking facelift led by Dr. Brian Scott. The advanced New Skin Lift addresses key signs of facial aging for women and men, restoring natural youthful contours. Whether it's replenishing volume lost over time or lifting the skin to smooth out those creases, the New Skin Lift can help you look 10 to 20 years younger with both surgical and non-surgical options. It's Hollywood's best-kept secret and now available to you. Get a free consultation and save $250 off your New Skin facelift. Schedule at newskinlift.com or 206-222-1225. Look 10 to 20 years younger and restore your youthful appearance with the New Skin facelift. newskinlift.com.
Cars for Kids, the easy way to donate your car. Donate today and your car can be picked up tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.com or 1-877-CARS4KIDS.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Jillian Raftery. A dramatic meeting between President Donald Trump and Canada's new Prime Minister Mark Carney at the White House today.
President Trump began the Oval Office meeting by praising Prime Minister Carney.
I have a lot of respect for this man.
But the president also said trade tariffs against Canada are necessary.
Why are we subsidizing Canada $200 billion a year, or whatever the number might be? It's a very substantial number.
Prime Minister Carney called Trump a transformational president, but suggested that Trump will never make Canada the 51st state.
It's not for sale, won't be for sale ever, but the opportunity is in the partnership and what we can build together.
Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
At 1:31, time for our closing bell report. Stocks closed today with back-to-back losses, and the Federal Reserve has started their discussion over interest rates, even as President Trump's back and forth on tariffs has worried investors. Here's CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
We are expecting them to hold interest rates steady. So we still might get interest rate cuts this year, but most firms aren't projecting that to come until July. Remember, we've got this meeting, this decision tomorrow, as well as another meeting in June.
An anonymous member of the Seattle business community is helping struggling businesses in Seattle's Pioneer Square. The neighborhood was hit hard by retail and office closures since the pandemic and has struggled to bounce back with high vacancy rates. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, the donor started a 6-figure fund to help recovery, with recipients using the money for things like repairs, new furniture, and equipment. At the close of the markets, as I said, we're closing down. Dow is down 0.95%, S&P 500 down 0.77%, NASDAQ down 0.87%. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, your biggest issue before the full commute starts is 405 South. Bellevue to Renton is 38 minutes right now. That's because of a disabled vehicle blocking a center lane. I-5 southbound has mostly recovered from a stall at 85th, but there is some heavy volume getting in and out of downtown Seattle. Everett to Seattle sitting at 45 minutes. Seattle to Tacoma, 42 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia, just 34 minutes. This traffic report brought to you by Washington 811. Weather brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. As we've told you all day, today could be the warmest day of the year with temperatures getting up to 70 degrees. Partly cloudy tomorrow, though. The trend starts to reverse. We're going to see clouds and temperatures back in the 60s with rain by Sunday. It is 69 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. This is kind of a controversial hot take that I saw over there in Vanity Fair, which is just, I read it so much. It's one of those magazines. Is it a magazine? Is that what Vanity Fair is?
It's still a print magazine, yeah.
Is it a print magazine?
Yeah, yep. We have a subscription in my home.
Do you really?
We do. I'll bring in several copies if you want tomorrow to prove it.
Nah, I believe you. It's okay.
It's who's the latest debutante on the front.
Gotcha.
Photo shoots, the movers and shakers of the fashion world, of the literary world.
Hollywood,
often Hollywood. Sometimes business. They're very diverse in their
I'm thinking of variety. I'm thinking of variety.
Variety's Hollywood, yeah. Vanity Fair is about style.
Vanity Fair style.
About style, yeah.
Were they part of the Met Gala? Was the Met Gala
Of course.
last night?
Last night, yeah.
Was that a Vanity Fair thing, or is that
They do have a strong presence at the Vanity. They do reporters and they do exposés, and there are features today in Vanity Fair about last night's Met Gala.
Okay.
And while the right just pulls their hair out and screams, "Evil, evil, evil," I believe is the direct quotes I've heard from the right, the ecosphere of the right.
For what?
Oh, these Megyn Kelly in particular. We're going to sidetrack real quick. Megyn Kelly in particular. I know, right? These people are evil. This is evil incarnate. These are people.
Spike, don't.
It's horrible.
You asked.
No. Yeah. I want people.
Let's
to
get
like
back
him.
to Vanity. I
want people to like you with this story. This is a funny story.
Yeah. Well, and this is from. I hope I pronounced this right. Kezia Weir. I think it's Kezia. She's a senior editor at Vanity Fair.
Okay.
She writes a piece called "Why Are Americans So Obsessed with Protein?" and then blame MAGA.
Blame MAGA for meat.
For meat. Well, and it's
for
not
meat.
just her article goes on to quote various different pieces that have been featured in other publications, such as the current state of protein, 4 signs you're not getting enough protein, added protein foods added to New Yorker's list of quality restaurants, a profile on a protein bar company, protein claims, blah, 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 blah.
Her argument, though, is basically you have all these influencers who tend to be right-leaning, who are proponents of like heavy protein diets, eating a lot of meat.
Protein. And what she's saying is that America has let their testosterone out of its cage, and she credits that to the MAGA movement.
Heck yeah.
To the manosphere that President Trump champions.
It's good to get the testosterone out sometimes.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Sure.
You say, listen, when the kids are loud in the house, I got 4 little boys. You send those boys outside. That's what you do.
And what do you feed them?
Meat.
That's right.
As much as I can.
Does a body good.
It does a body good.
Who wants some man meat?
I do. I want some man meat.
Michael, the wife would like your man meat. Well, then my man meat he shall have. There you go.
Oh, this is about steak.
Deliciosity. I love meat. I was eating meat in front of the camera. I was eating ribs and steak in front of the camera yesterday on
And
commercial
it's got
break.
nothing to do with politics.
It's got nothing to do
Come
with politics.
on. But meat.
It's because meat is delicious.
And it's been a part of every balanced diet since we invented fire. Because we had raw meat.
Which is because we had raw meat. We said, we got to do something with all this raw meat.
This is much better when you cook it.
This tastes better when you burn it.
That's before they had words. Several grunts conveyed that common sense take on things.
We love meat. We love it. We can't get enough of it. We don't necessarily love vegan stuff as much. Ron Swanson certainly didn't.
Oh, no.
You signed your real name?
Of course I did. What's going to happen? A vegan is going to physically attack me? They are basically made of glass.
No, it is a silly.
Ron
it's a silly thing. I don't know why. Whatever. Vanity Fair is
okay, Vanity Fair. Have you never heard of? You're in the entertainment industry, right? You love all things that are popular culture. Vanity Fair. You don't know the treasure that is Ron Swanson.
Ron Swanson. The guy has some of the best quotes of any TV character in the history of TV. Hamburger versus turkey meat. Here we go.
I humbly place before you my East meets West patented Traeger turkey burger, an Asian fusion burger made with Willow Farms organic turkey, a toasted Taleggio cheese crisp, papaya chutney, black truffle aioli, and microgreens on a gluten-free brioche bun.
Here's mine. It's a hamburger made out of meat on a bun with nothing. Add ketchup if you want. I couldn't care less.
Ron, I'm so disappointed. I thought that you and I were going to have a real challenge.
Never mind, this is better. Way better. Oh my God, it's so much better. It's crazy.
Turkey can never beat cow, Chris. Sorry.
What's your favorite meat to put in your mouth, Spike?
Oh, steak. A good New York. Oh, a good New York steak.
Steak is great.
Steak is the greatest thing I've ever invented.
Steak is great. Laura, you're not a vegan, are you?
No.
No, you like meat.
I like
You're a
meat.
meat eater. You were chastising me for not sharing my ribs with you.
Yeah, exactly. Minutes ago.
What's your favorite meat in the world? If you could choose a meat right now to walk in here and you could eat that meat. Walked to you. If
Great
a meat was walked into you.
Oh, well, see, I was going to say lamb. But God, what a cute little lamb walking to me, and I just have a fork and knife.
No, it's horrible. It's horrible.
I like the most unethical ones. I like lamb and I like pork. Yeah.
Yeah, pork's pretty good.
Pork's great.
Pigs are pretty smart, but
then again,
bacon is better.
I can do great things with chicken. You know, I mean, meat is just meat. Come on.
What I love about summertime, I don't know what I love about summertime is it's just great to get outside and grill.
Barbecue season, buddy.
I love it.
Yes.
I love barbecuing. It's so much fun. In the last 24 hours, I've had steak, ribs for breakfast. This is not like a healthy diet I recommend for everybody, but sausage. Love that pig. Love that pig.
Don't want to see it made. Love to see it eaten.
I don't want to see it made. No. And if they could figure out some way to take it off surgically, that would be cruel. So I wouldn't want that. But it's delicious.
It's fabulous.
And I also love I love burgers. I had burgers last night. Made burgers for the kids. They will consistently. It's so tough to feed kids anything, but they will consistently devour a burger, and they're going to get the protein.
Kids need protein.
They need the protein.
I have a dear friend who was a vegan for most of her life. Kept having all these medical issues.
Sure.
You know what the prescription was? A steak.
Really?
I'm telling you, doctor said you need to eat protein. And tofu ain't getting it done.
And so
you're going to have to find. If you want to find ethically raised beef, that's fine. That's available. That's fine.
Sure.
A lot of people make that decision, and it's a noble decision as long as it's meat.
How do you feel about duck?
I've never been a fan.
You never been
a fan?
I like it.
Don't mind shooting them out of the sky. Don't care what happens to them afterward.
Yeah.
Boom. How's that?
I like that a lot.
I'm not a duck fan.
Why don't you shoot them and I'll eat them?
There you go. See,
I like a duck.
Teamwork.
Duck's very good.
My favorite Ron Swanson. We got more actually. I got quotes.
I got more, but I want to hear more for you.
They brought Ron Swanson a salad. So excuse me, you seem to have brought me food that my food eats.
Do we have that? I think we have that.
Do you have that one?
There's been a mistake. You've accidentally given me the food that my food eats.
This is a classic one. He's walking through. This is a grocery store that he's walking through with the samples.
Oh, yeah. That turkey bacon.
And somebody has a vegan bacon that they're trying to give to him, and he just starts, he's throwing them away.
Vegan bacon, 100% meatless.
Yes, please.
And he throws it in the trash. And another.
Another, please.
Kid hands him another. Hitting the can.
Sir, is there a problem?
I'm just making sure no one ever has to eat this.
I don't think I can give you any more.
I want one.
That's great. I love it.
Oh, Ron
you know
Swanson.
what we should do?
I call it the Turf and Turf, a 16-ounce T-bone and a 24-ounce porterhouse. Backed with whiskey and a cigar because I'm an American.
That's what you eat?
That's what Ron
that's
Swanson
what he
says.
says.
The Turf and Turf.
That sounds delicious. We should, Spike, you and I, sometime for lunch before we get on the air, we got a barbecue here. We should do a little
station?
At the station. Oh. We should do a little barbecue contest.
Oh, that's fabulous.
You and I both cook something. Laura can be the judge. We can make a little video out of it. We can get listeners to participate in some way, maybe.
Laura, how do you like your steak?
Medium.
Okay, I guess you can be the judge. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Are you a medium rare guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not blue. I'm not rare.
No.
People who eat that.
A little blood.
No, it's not
blood's
blood.
all right.
It's not blood.
A little flavor?
Yes.
Yes.
Freedom juice.
Okay. For freedom juice. That's lovely.
This turned out to be a fun show. I like this. I'm getting my mouth's watering. Let's go, man.
Let's go. I'm hungry. I could eat. All right. We got a story for you next. Every parent has seen this. Kids order stuff on your phone when you're not looking, and you suddenly see that you have a giant Amazon bill that makes no sense. I have a story that's going to beat yours. We'll tell you about it next. It's pretty great. It happened in Kentucky, and you can tell your friends about this one. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The closing bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
KIRO Newsradio, the Northwest's trusted news source.
Get the latest from KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch.
It happened Wednesday morning just after 6 o'clock.
Experienced voices you trust.
Several people hurt after a violent Saturday in Pierce County.
Coverage you depend on.
More from KIRO Newsradio's Matt Markovich.
It's as close to a veto warning as you could possibly get.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Hey, folks, Spike O'Neill for Sharp Vision, Modern LASIK, and Lens. I got to tell you, it might be the best decision I've ever made in my life. I always had really great vision my entire life, eagle eyes, they would call me. But as time went on, I started to lose a little bit of my vision. I started needing readers. Very inconvenient. Never could find them when I needed them. Figured it was time to take a look. So I went to Sharp Vision, Modern LASIK, and Lenses office in Bellevue. Had a complete eye exam. Very thorough, the crew over there. They told me I had the beginnings of cataract and that I was a perfect candidate for refractive lens exchange. And I had questions, so I asked a lot of questions. And the same care team from start to finish answered all my questions, put me completely at ease. Went in for one afternoon, simple procedure. Was out before I knew it. I'm not just under. I was awake the whole time. Very, very painless. Home that afternoon, couple weeks of recovery, and I've got better vision than I ever had at any point in my life. Not just 2020, 2010. I will never need readers again, ever, and I will never develop cataract with refractive lens exchange. If it's time for you to take a look at what you could be seeing with better vision, give Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens a call at 425-451-2020, 425-451-2020, or online sharpvision.com, sharp-vision.com.
Hi, my name is Rajiv Nagaich. Ever since I became an elder law attorney more than 20 years ago, I've helped thousands of people in the Seattle area retire with more confidence about their future. I'd like to invite you to one of my retirement planning seminars this month. Learn how to protect your estate from long-term care costs. Live out your years where you choose, even if you get sick, without becoming a burden on people you love the most. Learn how to use the Safe Harbor Trust to protect your estate from threats most people overlook. Come to the seminar and I'll show you how it's done.
Join the free seminar in Federal Way on May 13th, Tacoma on May 15th, or Bellevue on May 17th. Register at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com. or call 253-838-3454. 253-838-3454.
Hello, Seattle. It's your friendly neighbor, the T-Mobile Park roof. From up here, I can see it all. Folks pouring in from the street, the sun setting over the sound, the roar of the crowd as Luis Castillo pumps his fist, and the joy of the J-Rod squad as Julio snares a deep fly ball at the wall.
He reaches up with a leap and he makes the catch!
And all the faces smiling with every perfectly grilled hot dog and swirl of soft serve. When the final out's made, I'll be right up here, lighting the W and soaking it all in. Mariners baseball. Try it inside.
The next Mariners homestand is on deck. Join in for the Mother's Day weekend series Friday through Sunday in a marquee matchup against the Yankees starting Monday, May 12th. Then the fun picks up again with a 3-day Randy Arozarena bobblehead giveaway, May 27th through 29th. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See with the full details and disclaimers.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Buc-ee's has you covered with available financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance, it's Buc-ee's Complete Auto. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
If you want a dream bathroom without a humongous price tag, now's the time to call Bathfitter Northwest. Ursula Roytine here. I picked Bathfitter because they are the original one-day bath remodeler. They're a local family-owned business that's been around for 40 years. They own every step in the process to make sure you get the best quality product and the best value. Right now, get 0% interest for 24 months, and for a limited time, they'll pay your sales tax. Why would you choose anyone else? Call Bathfitter today.
Welcome back to the show. All right, this story's so great. There was a kid in Kentucky. Actually, that's the wrong place to start this story. There's a mom in Kentucky, and she goes outside and she sees on her front porch that these boxes start arriving, which is not uncommon. We all get Amazon boxes to our house all the time. I don't even notice what's coming anymore. I see boxes arriving. I see strangers walking up onto my property.
Yeah.
I get chimes on my phone all the time.
Yep, everyday occurrence now. Multiple times a day.
Multiple times a day. I don't question it. I don't even think about it because it's somebody delivering something that my wife has ordered. But this lady goes, that's a lot of boxes. In fact, that's quite a few boxes. That's 22 cases. of things that are on my front porch. So she opens up the box and she looks at it, and it's full of dum-dums, like the suckers.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
like the sweet little suckers.
They're wonderful.
For kids. Yeah, delicious. And
what are the other cases full of?
Dum-dum suckers.
22 cases of dum-dum suckers?
22 cases with more on the way. She said, what in the heck happened? And she looks on the package thing, and the seal, the delivery thing says her address to her name. She's confused by this. She doesn't know what's going on, so she looks in her Amazon account. She starts looking into it, and she sees that she has many more cases on the way of dum-dum suckers. Now she wants to know, like, clearly there's a mistake that happened. What happened here? So she starts investigating, and she finds out that her 8-year-old, whose name is Liam, got onto her phone because Liam wanted to throw a carnival. And he wanted to give out dum-dum suckers to his friends who won prizes at the carnival that he was going to create.
That's beautiful.
Which is actually really sweet and really nice. And so she says this. She says, she asked Liam, he says, he told me he wanted to have a carnival and he was going to be ordering dum-dums as prizes for his carnivals. Again, he was being friendly. He was being kind to his friends. He just put in a number. He didn't know how many he thought that they would need.
Yeah.
But
He's 8 years old.
70,000 dum-dums were ordered to the
Liam's
house.
a popular kid. He's got a lot of friends.
He's got a lot of friends.
Right.
And I got kids. I understand. They can eat a lot of dum-dums if you give them the chance.
What a big heart this kid's got, right?
Isn't that so nice?
Oh.
Have you ever got anything sent to you by mistake, or have you ordered things? My kids have done this through the Alexa apps. Like sometimes they'll just say that.
Oh, no way.
We had to turn it off because
Alexa, order me. You can just talk to Alexa. Oh.
She adds it to your basket. She just orders it.
It's a recipe for disaster.
Disaster. So
that's why we don't have a smart device in our home. We have enough Amazon interaction in my home, believe me.
But have you ever had anything sent mistakenly, or have you ordered anything by mistake?
My kids have ordered things. My kids now have kind of carte blanche to know if you ask first, and if you need me to front you and pick up something for you with planned reimbursement, that's not a problem.
Absolutely.
But that was a lesson that was hard learned because my kid got in the habit of just sending things to school.
Oh, really?
To be delivered to the Amazon locker at school.
Oh, that's
I
convenient.
see a conspiracy here between Amazon and my kid because it all funnels through my bank, my bank account. Boom, Daddy says yes. Boom.
Isn't it magic how that happens?
Really, it's
I order something, I don't see where the money comes from,
right?
But I still get it.
It's amazing. It's almost like a parent did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we put a halt to that.
You put a halt on that.
Yeah. It's just ask me first. You know me. I'm a generous guy to a fault.
Sure.
I'll happily if it matters, if it helps you along the way.
But you got to know it's
70,000 dum-dums. I say to her.
Yeah, it's a lot.
70,001.
Laura, how about you? Do you order a lot of stuff on Amazon?
I wish I ordered less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too easy.
It's a little too easy.
It's far too easy.
Although I don't have Prime, so now I have to build a cart to hit the order minimum. You know?
That's actually probably saving you money. Even though you're
definitely it's saving me money.
Because it's really enticing when you're like, oh, look at this. Like, just free
Hold on
delivery.
a second. So you're saying that if you get to a certain point of threshold capacity, there is a free delivery tipping point?
But they do make it painful. You have to wait a long time. So Prime, it'll be there. It could be there the same day.
Free overnight.
For
Boom.
me, I have to wait a week. Like ordering anything else on the internet.
I can't imagine waiting a week for anything.
I will say though, we used to have a
either.
family Amazon account. Like my mom and sister and I, all of them, because my mom has Amazon Prime. So I just logged into hers and I could order stuff with my own card. But the problem with that is that all three of our cards were on there and it would switch between them. And so I would be going through my credit card statements and I'd be like, what are all these Amazon purchases?
I didn't order this book. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
These rugs.
Or things accidentally get shipped from house to house. You know, we live in 3 different cities. So
yeah.
We get that all the time.
Yeah.
I got a package yesterday from my mother-in-law who's in Albuquerque now. She went back after the wedding. But now I got to ship this down to Albuquerque. But I said to my, no. We return this to Amazon free.
Yeah.
And Mom reorders it.
She just reorders it.
And put the correct address.
In fact, she could reorder it right now. It'd be there tomorrow.
Right. And I'll just
Absolutely.
return this to, boom.
This mother with the 70,000 dum-dums, she did reach out to Amazon, and they did figure out what happened, and they actually gave her money back.
Has she reached out to Dum Dum? Not the kid.
This is a
company?
great advertisement for Dum Dum.
Seriously, they should be flooding this kid with suckers.
You know what? I bet you they did.
I hope so.
That would be such a smart marketing move.
Right?
They said, hey, Dum Dums are on us. $4,000 she spent on Dum Dums, but she got the money back. Good for her. All right, we got a lot more coming up. This is a really interesting story. Somebody put together a list of the safest first cars for teenagers. When your kids are going to start driving.
It's a genuine concern.
It's a genuine concern.
Absolutely.
What's the best car to stick them behind the wheel in so that they're safe and you can sleep at night? we have this list, but also I thought it'd be interesting. We can talk about our first cars.
Yeah.
And what thought went into going those, if any.
That was a major concern, my old man. You bet.
Well, yeah, your old guy was a car guy.
Yep.
All right, we will tell you that next. You can text us what yours were. I also want to hear about it on the YouTube line, the YouTube chat line. Let us know what your first cars were so we can throw those into the mix. We will be right back.
I'm Sia, and I support Humane World for Animals, formerly called the Humane Society of the United States. Together, we have created a new version of Peter Gabriel's beautiful song, Salisbury Hill, to celebrate Humane World for Animals and everything they do. Enjoy the song and join us in helping Humane World for Animals end animal cruelty.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer premium windows that are 25% more energy efficient, reduce noise by 50%, and come with clean glass technology. And Leak Armor installation gives you a lifetime warranty to protect your home. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Lake Washington Windows and Doors makes it easy to enjoy new windows with clean glass technology now and defer paying for them until 2026 with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade Event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See team with the full details and disclaimer.
Nearly everyone wants to grow old in their own home. Yet, according to research conducted by Stanford University, 70% of Americans will not achieve this goal, despite having done a lot of retirement planning. Now, why does this happen? Hi, I'm Rajiv Nagaich, an elder law attorney who's been studying this phenomena for the last 20 plus years. The problem isn't the planning that you do. The problem is what you haven't been told. That's why retirement becomes a nightmare. Now, if you're wondering what you haven't been told, come to one of my retirement seminars this month. I'll shine the spotlight in all the dark corners so you can retire with confidence.
Join the free seminar in Federal Way on May 13th, Tacoma on May 15th, or Bellevue on May 17th. Register at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com. Or call 253-838-3454.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Many Americans just realized tomorrow's the deadline and they don't have their real ID yet. Expect crowds if you're rushing to get one at this point, like this woman in Pennsylvania.
I looked at the line and of course I was amazed, but then I'm thinking, they've been advertising this for a while. And so this is the consequences I have to face because I should have probably gotten it sooner.
Correspondent Stacey Lynn.
Travel editor Peter Greenberg says if you procrastinated, don't stress.
There's no reason to panic right now. They waited 23 years to do this. They're not going to go put
people in real ID jail tomorrow.
He says you'll still be able to fly with your old ID.
You'll have to spend a little bit longer in that line to provide additional information in order to be able to fly.
And keep in mind, you can just use your passport, too, if it's up to date.
Correspondent Chris Van Cleve on what to expect at the airport.
They are urging people to get to the airport extra early, particularly Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week as this new system goes into effect, because it is more likely that somebody without a real ID gets hung up at security. That takes a little bit of extra time. If they didn't leave enough time at the airport, they could end up missing their flight.
In a surprise announcement today, President Trump said the Houthi rebels in Yemen won't be striking ships in the Red Sea anymore.
They don't want to fight anymore. They just don't want to fight. And we will honor that.
Israel struck the rebels yesterday, disabling the airport in Yemen's capital, and a rebel leader said attacks against Israel will continue. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was on Capitol Hill today, where he answered questions from lawmakers about the administration's trade talks.
I would think that perhaps as early as this week, we will be announcing trade deals with some of our largest trading partners. They have come to us with very good offers.
He said there had been no talks with China, although the president continued to insist today that Beijing wants to negotiate. The Supreme Court has ruled the administration's ban on transgender service members can remain in effect while the legal challenges play out. A second judge has ruled the administration cannot use the Alien Enemies Act to deport people it accuses of being Venezuelan gang members. In Rome tomorrow, cardinals will begin the process of selecting a new pope. This visitor to the Vatican.
I think the new pope should carry on the legacy of Pope Francis. He embraced all diversity and he was very forward-thinking. And my hope is that that would carry on with the new pope.
On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrials finished 389 points lower. This is CBS News.
A word from Progressive Insurance. Life can be hard, so Progressive can make bundling your home and auto easy. Hope that helps. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800.
More than a dozen arrests in a Gig Harbor retail theft crackdown. We'll tell you about that in just a moment. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing traffic desk, 405 southbound is still heavy from Bellevue to Renton because of an earlier stall at Northeast 30th. Travel times are better, but we're starting to get heavy just in time for the afternoon commute. Something is going on I-90 eastbound from Seattle to Bellevue, halfway across the bridge span. It looks like we're seeing traffic backed up all the way to I-5. So there's nothing on the map quite yet. We're hoping to get some more info on that. I-5 north and south, pretty typical heaviness getting in and out of downtown. We are looking good pretty much out of Seattle, though, into the South Sound. Traffic brought to you by ProSculpt, the one-day permanent fat loss and skin tightening solution for men and women offered by New Skin Med Spa in Bellevue. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Jillian Raftery. 2 people shot in North Seattle this morning, and police are still looking for that shooter.
The shooting happened just before 9 o'clock near the intersection of North 90th Street and Nesbitt Avenue North. That's just 1 block off Aurora Avenue. Police say there was a disturbance and then gunfire. Here's SPD Detective Brian Pritchard.
The male had a shot to his foot, and the female had a shot to her right thigh. They believe that the shots were actually possibly ricocheted off the ground.
Detective Pritchard says the gunman fled the scene on a Metro bus. If you saw the shooting or have any information, call Seattle Police or 911. In Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Police in Gig Harbor are cracking down on retail theft. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay reports.
Last Thursday and Friday, the police department worked with local businesses on a retail theft emphasis. And during that time, they arrested 15 people. One of the people they picked up had been arrested during a previous emphasis patrol. And police say another suspect was trying to pass a counterfeit bill. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
If you don't have the Real ID compliant enhanced driver's license by tomorrow, that's Wednesday, you could face problems at the airport. Congress passed the Real ID Act in 2005. The TSA's Lori Denkers says the flying public needs to be ready.
It is not a strategy to come to the airport on May 7th or moving forward without an acceptable form of ID, because you're going to find the delays will be significant.
check out the TSA website for a list of alternative identification documents. Hot today, gone tomorrow. While today could be the warmest day of the year so far, that trend will not stick around.
The winds are going to reverse, and they're going to come in from the ocean, and it's going to cool us down. So tomorrow's going to be one of those typical Seattle spring days where, it's drizzly in the morning, cloudy, cool. And then we warm back up a bit as the weekends. Maybe by Friday we hit 70 again.
That's Justin Shaw, who writes the Seattle Weather blog. As we've always told you, today is going to be very warm, high of 75 degrees. Overnight lows in the mid-50s. Tomorrow looking like we are going to have a little bit of drizzle and clear weather until about Sunday when the rain returns. Weather brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. It is 73 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News. This is a test of your emergency alert system.
The civil authorities have issued a required monthly test for Benton, WA, Franklin, WA, and all of Washington beginning at 2 p.m. and ending at 3 p.m. This is a test. This is only a test of the emergency alert system in Washington State issued by the Washington State Emergency Operations Center on behalf of NOAA. In the event of an emergency, this system would bring you important information. The following tones will conclude this test from the Washington State Emergency Operations Center.
It's the all-new Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome back to the show.
He's trying to do the emergency voice.
Can you do it?
Computer-generated voice. Oh, no, I'm not. No.
You try the emergency voice
Robot.
first, and then Laura can tell us which has a better emergency voice. Go for it. You first.
Welcome to the emergency broadcast system.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. This is a test of the emergency broadcast system.
Oh my God! Did you record that for them?
No,
wow,
is that pretty good?
Jake just swept it. Sorry, Spike.
I could do the
No
whole
contest.
show like this.
Please don't.
I will not do the whole show like this. This is my computer voice.
Don't tell the boss that because we could be replaced by AI.
I used to do that to freak my brothers out when I was a kid.
No kidding?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And also, I've been trying to get that like really lucrative emergency broadcasting voice contract, but they won't give it to me. They prefer computers.
Are you playing us off, Andrew?
Am I what?
We hear music. Are you playing us off?
No, I'm bringing the open back because it was a competition.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
I thought you were not liking the way this was going. So,
Spike, you don't know what you're talking about, Spike.
This is freaking me out.
Okay, I did this with my sibling too. I would like chase her around the house pretending to be a robot, and then I'd actually been a robot the whole time, just pretending to be her sister. And she would be close to tears.
What a weird thing that we both did. These weird things to our siblings.
Yeah.
You're an older sibling.
I'm an older sister.
Yeah, so am I.
There we go.
You're a younger sibling.
I am. I was brutalized.
I can tell.
Thanks.
No, I can tell that you have an older sibling.
Yeah.
Who harmed you?
Well, emotionally.
Because I was the older sibling who emotionally damaged my younger siblings, and I recognized the pain in your eyes.
Yes.
Because I've seen that reflected in my brother's
it's
eyes.
Deep. It's still there.
And you've smiled.
And I've laughed, and I went ha ha ha.
Well, it's funny you softened me up for this moment because we're going to talk about the safest first cars.
Yeah.
And you asked me about my first car, and I'm down this memory lane. I'm down this rabbit hole of old emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So I was so ripe.
You were ripe for
re-traumatizing.
Yep. There you go. All right. Wow. They put together a list. This is actually really fun. I thought this was a fun topic because the listeners could get on this too. If you guys have a chance, go to youtube.com, type in the search bar Jake and Spike Show. What's that thing called? Is it an ampersand?
Yep.
Jake and Spike. You look that up, it's going to take you right to, it's going to give you the option for our live show that we're doing right now. So you guys can participate. And the fun part is, if you do that, then you can jump into the chat feature, which would then allow you to put in the type of vehicle that you had and any stories associated with that vehicle that you want to share with us, which would be great. We love seeing those things. Also on the text line, 888-973-5476. You can do it there as well. But we prefer you do it on the YouTube thing because then you can chat with each other as well if we can't respond to you. All right, so somebody put together this list. It was like a Consumer Reports and basically just looking at what are the safest cars for people who are reaching that point in life where your teenagers they haven't quite left the nest yet because obviously they still need your help finding a vehicle, so they're still quite in the nest. But you want to make sure that they're safe and they're driving around.
That's everything.
You've done this 2 times now.
Twice now, yeah.
How did it go, and what was the process for selecting the vehicle?
Oh, great questions. First off, I come from an antiquated age, and my parents put me in a car, and so did the truly unpleasant Mrs. O'Neill. Her first car was a big, I think it's a K5 Chevy Blazer.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about so much steel around this kid. Her dad put Melissa into this car. It was a truck.
Was the K5 Blazer, was that Chevy's response to the Bronco? The big OJ Bronco?
Yes. It was big, enough to fit eight teenage girls, her old man found out. And that was the end of that ride.
That's too many.
Right? Exactly.
That's too many in a K5 Blazer.
That caused more potential danger than a flimsy car.
Sure.
But, and for me, I was in a 71 Mercury Comet. I'm talking about heavy steel.
Beautiful.
Big steel, but a big engine in that car, too. And that got me in trouble. I wrecked that car by going too fast.
Do you have a picture? Can you show me a picture? You said it's 72?
71 Mercury 71. Comet with a V8 302 under the hood. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was a thing of beauty. It was an absolute. And looking down this memory lane of this car, I had to. What's it worth if I'd have kept it? Today, one just sold for $25,000.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
That's
right?
a stab through the heart.
It is.
That's a nice 70s. That's a good representation of 70s muscle.
Big 70s steel. Yeah, that was for us. It was put a lot of steel around the kid. But nowadays, cars have evolved to the point where you want a good interior frame. You want road safety testing done.
You want your side airbags, all the stuff.
Side airbags, exactly. Seatbelts. I mean, my car had one seatbelt across my lap, and that was it. And I did my best to tuck it inside the front bench seat. Oh, perfect for a teenage guy.
So you didn't have to. So you didn't have to wear
use it. No, come on. I was raised wrong.
Isn't that amazing when you look back at all the stupid things you did as a kid, and still you made it here? Don't you just feel?
I'm even happier that there wasn't social media, so no one can see the stupidity that I wreaked havoc upon the world.
That's a sweet car. I'm looking at your picture right now.
Right?
Was yours yellow?
Mustard
like that?
yellow.
Mustard yellow
with a brown roof, baby.
Did you have the racing stripe?
No, it didn't have the racing stripe. No,
that's pretty sweet.
That's exactly my car.
That's a big engine for that car.
It's a lot of engine.
Is that a lightweight vehicle?
Yeah, it's a very lightweight, very light, short wheelbase vehicle. V8 302. Way too much power for that car. Got me in tons of trouble.
Rear wheel?
Oh yeah.
You slide in that thing?
Oh, I just throw that thing around corners. You betcha.
That's fun.
My brother had a red one. I had a yellow one.
Shut it.
I swear. My man was a car dealer.
Same year?
Same year.
So there was something about that car that he went, this is it.
The old man
for
knew.
my kids.
It was solid. And it was easy to fix if you dinged it up.
Sure.
It was if mechanically, it was one of those, you could turn wrenches on these cars.
Yeah.
You don't have to plug it into a computer nowadays.
Yeah, everything is a computer nowadays. It's crazy. And cars get damaged so easily. I was in a parking lot the other day. We were at a kid's baseball game. And one of my sons jumps out of the car, throws the door open, into the car right next to us. And I'm just like not happy about it because he left a little smudge. Tiny, tiny, tiny little smudge.
Yeah.
But I felt really guilty about it, so I left a note. And this person, who must have been an angel, they read the note. I said, hey, my son accidentally damaged your car, blah, blah, blah. Here's my phone number. Give me a call. We can figure it out. They didn't call. And I know they got it because I left it right under the windshield. And but I wanted to sleep at night. It's the right thing to do.
Sure, it is the right thing to do.
But he barely bumped it and it scratched the vehicle. But the point is, the inside of the cars are so much safer these days. They have these crumple zones.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because if I hit something hard enough in that car, the engine would have hit my lap.
Yeah. And then you'd be gone.
Right. And now with our kids, we picked a very safe, small 4-door cars. Right. It's not too racy. We wanted to kind of tone down the cool factor a little bit. And we insisted on a 5-speed stick.
That's smart.
Because kids should learn to drive with a stick. That way they pay more attention to the car and the road. They're not as easily distracted by other things.
I learned to drive on a stick. Yep. It was super valuable. Yep. I haven't driven one since, but most cars, it's tough to find a manual these days.
But these you mentioned this list of the safest cars.
Yeah,
there's like 125 of the safest cars under $10,000 because they know parents who put their kids in a first car.
There's a lot.
It's going to get dinged around. It's going to bump into a few things.
If you want to jump up in price, they do have other options here. But let me read you some of the safest ones, and then we'll get it. I want to ask Laura what her car was too. The safest small car, they say, under $10,000 is the Toyota Corolla sedan. That's going to be it's going to check all the boxes. It's most fuel efficient.
Mm-hmm.
It can be acquired for less than $10,000. Right. That would be a 2017 through 2019 version. The obviously the newer versions are going to be a lot more than that.
Sure.
So that's they say that's a very safe car.
And they also say that's a smaller car. Because they also categorize this into midsize or larger cars,
list,
small SUVs. Like the old man wanted Melissa into almost a truck.
Yeah.
For space around the kid.
The larger cars, they say that the Genesis, have you seen the Genesis cars out on the road?
Yeah, that's a big car.
A Genesis G80, which I believe originally was a Hyundai badged vehicle that then they separated off. It's still a Hyundai.
No kidding.
But it's its own thing. I could be wrong about that. Look that up. Isn't it Genesis originally a Hyundai?
I don't. I've never seen that. I sold the first
Hyundai Genesis. That's what it was originally. And then they said, hey, we're going to be our own thing.
Okay, cool.
I believe. I don't know. I could be making that up.
No,
And if so, you're going to find out at 245.
You're spot on.
If we were wrong. Those are beautiful cars, but you can get that one for, they say, like $12,200. They say that's a very safe vehicle.
And look at this. Look at this video. Look at the safety footage on this car.
Unreal.
The entirety of this car is gone up into the front windshield, and the kid inside is safe.
Yeah. Kid's doing good.
Look at that.
They're going to have a tough time calling mom and dad. They're going to be embarrassed. But you know what? Mom and dad are going to be happy that they're alive to make the call.
I'm glad you said that.
It's the only thing that matters.
I'm telling you.
You could wreck a car all day as long as you call me.
My man
let me
told
know.
me that. Every time I wreck a car, it's just stuff.
It's just stuff.
You're fine. You okay? First words out of my dad's mouth. You okay?
Yep.
Yeah, I rolled down the embankment, but I'm okay.
Did you wreck it?
Oh, I rolled it down an embankment on a turn. On a cloverleaf on a freeway.
You were okay?
I was fine. Big steel cage.
What about
boom,
the car?
Boom, 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 boom. Oh, totaled. Flat. Looked like a cartoon car.
And you were nervous probably to call your dad.
Oh, I was terrified.
Yeah.
Terrified to call the old man. First words out of his mouth. You okay?
It's all parents care about.
Right.
Any kid listening right now, we don't care about the stuff. We just want to make sure you're safe.
That's it.
Laura, first car, what was it?
Mazda 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
Classic.
It was pre-owned. It was a 2010.
Of course, pre-owned.
It was pre-owned, but been on the market for like a year or two. So it was pretty shiny and new. I was very excited, and it was a total surprise.
I've never known a person that had a kid who had a brand new car at 16.
Yeah. Well,
maybe some people do.
I went to a private school, so I knew a few.
Right,
but...
you saw it a lot.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I don't get it because my kids went to my older kid went to a private parochial school, and the parking lot was full of these brand new cars.
You're like, what is this?
What
Parent visiting lot?
Right.
Ridiculous.
This is supposed to be student parking lot.
I won't name names, and I won't even name the car, but there was a girl in my class who absolutely totaled her brand new car that we were all incredibly jealous of. It was like white car, like tan leather interiors,
BMW?
newest model, new year.
Don't name it. Just give the initials. Right? Keep it anonymous.
Give the initials of the car?
Yeah. I mean, BMW.
The initials are BMW.
Yeah.
Was it a BMW?
It was very nice. I'll just say that.
Okay.
It was a luxury car. Brand new. Totaled it in 6 months.
Who gives a 16-year-old a brand new luxury car?
Well, people who live on Mercer Island or in Medina.
Yeah.
That's not showing love.
That's not showing love.
No.
I mean, it's pampering. You're pampering.
Yeah.
Like you would a baby.
Yeah, little princess.
My very first car. Did you buy your first car? Your dad had a car dealer, so how did that work out?
He bought them for us.
He fronted it for you.
He got them for us.
God,
yeah.
Sweet deal,
the old man.
My
Sweet
story
deal.
of getting my car, because it was a total surprise, is one of my most embarrassing stories.
Tell it.
I was upstairs, and my mom yelled from downstairs, "Laura, come here." And I go, "What?" Like in the rudest teenage voice ever. I walk over.
Mom, I don't want to talk right now, Mom.
I was like, "What? What do you need?" And then I go, she's standing at the bottom of the stairs with the car salesman.
Oh, no.
Who is like holding the brand new keys. And she's like, surprise.
And you're there
I
in your headgear.
bad.
Who's this person you're introducing me to,
I did
Mom?
not have braces at that age. I'll let you know. But I did sound like the most.
Holding, Mom? I'm not interested.
It was the most spoiled brat moment of my teenage years by far.
She bought you that car?
Yeah.
You guys are a couple of spoiled brats. I knew it.
What can I say?
I knew I was working with spoiled brats. I knew it.
Did you have to work for your first car? Did you have to earn it? You have to buy yourself? Yeah.
Hell yeah. I've never had anything bought for me. My dad was like, hey, cars are great. Go get a job.
Yeah. You'd be happy if you had one. Huh?
It's so fun.
No,
you're going to love it.
Man.
You're going to love it.
I didn't respect it or take care of it. And my old man ran car dealerships. You wreck a car? You get a new car.
Oh, jeez.
I know. I hate to admit it.
You're just walking around. You're just trying to get some, and then you lean on your dad. You're like, "Hey, get that one in on a really favorable trade because I want it."
The old man. No, I didn't have that kind of pull, but the old man knew when something came across the trade-in desk.
Yep.
He wanted it for one of the boys. Boom.
Send it over to Spike.
You bet.
Ridiculous.
Put that aside. The old man bought that right before he even put it to the public.
So I got a job.
So I got my house too, by the way. I'm teasing.
Pretty good.
I'm teasing.
Pretty good. My dad owned a house dealership. No, I saw this car on a used car lot. I won't say the name of the car dealer because they're still around.
Great.
And I saved up the money. But I still couldn't afford it, and so my dad co-signed on it for me, and so I had to make payments, which actually was kind of a nice thing to learn how to do, even though I would not do that for my own kids. So I had to make car payments. I think my car payment was like $72 a month or something. I don't remember what it was.
That's great.
I don't remember what it might have been double that, but it was a 1989 Jeep Cherokee 4x4 limited edition, maroon with gold rims.
Oh, buddy, you're rolling.
Gray leather interior. This thing was so horrible looking.
God, was the word I was going to go with.
It was, but you know what?
Maroon and gold with a gray leather interior.
You know
That's an interesting color combination.
No, it's disgusting. But now I look back on it, it was a dream machine. It was so magical. I loved it so much. I was so excited to have it.
Yeah.
I took it up into the mountains. I shifted it down. Those old Cherokees, and they might still, they had the coolest shift where you shifted into the, they got the four-wheel drive package thing there. You put it into 4-low. You go up in the snow with your friends because I had another friend who also had a Cherokee. His was much nicer.
Yeah.
His parents had some money. And so we'd go up and we'd load it full of our friends and we'd both go up there in the mountains and we'd just be buying. And it was the most fun. The problem with mine though is I'd never discovered where it was, but I did have a leak somewhere in the interior. I think it was coming up out of the bottom because the carpet in the back would always get really soaking wet anytime I'd go buying.
Yeah.
And then it would stink, a really bad smell.
Yeah.
And I already didn't have much game with the ladies, and so even less when they get into
my... You became nose blind to the mildew smell in the back of your truck?
Yeah, exactly. They're like, something died in your truck. I'm like, hop in, ladies. There was something dead in here. But it was a really sweet car. I loved it. It eventually just completely ceased to work, and so that's when I had to get rid of it and move on to something else. But I did just find one. Actually, I was just looking online for one. One just sold at an auto auction for $15,500.
An 89?
An 89. This one's in cherry condition, and I'll tell you what, I would drive this car again. It is this exact color scheme. As long as it wasn't oxidized. Mine was super bad oxidized and looked disgusting.
Yeah.
But if it was nice looking...
Did you buy it that way or get to that point on your ownership?
I bought it oxidized.
Okay, cool. Well,
I was just happy to have it.
First car. First car. And you pay for it yourself.
I pay for it myself.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful experience.
I wish I had done that for my kids. I really do.
It does build character, I will say.
It does.
It's a good experience.
I lack character, and that's because my dad bought me many cars.
You got plenty of character.
But it was hard-earned.
You figure out character in other ways. Sometimes you get it with a crappy car. Sometimes you get it because you whatever.
You know when I knew I had no character?
When's that?
I was selling cars, and a couple came in with a used car trade-in, and I wanted it. And I lowballed their trade and bought it from the dealership.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, you bet I did.
That's not insider trading? It seems like insider trading.
You had to convince the sales manager, my dad, that if I made enough if I make enough front end money selling the new car at full price, right?
Yeah.
Can I have the trade in for what we put in the trade in, what we allowed for the trade in? He goes, if you get full price plus, so I had to go beyond sticker price, and I got it done.
You feel guilty about that a little bit?
Looking back, I was a bit of a dog. Yeah. That's why I wasn't long in the car business.
Were you young when you were working there?
23.
So you're showing them the car
22,
with braces?
22. This is a beauty. You're not going to see anything like this ever again.
This is one of the nicest
Pardon my spitting. This is a new set for me.
I get new braces if you buy this car.
Meanwhile, dear KIRO Radio, people,
these guys are idiots.
Dear KIRO Radio, this is a friendship to me. Yeah.
I'm glad you got the car.
Thank you.
What kind of car was it?
71 Mercedes Coupe.
That's sweet car.
That was a 72. Green. Dark green, forest green, four-door Mercedes.
That's sweet.
I was riding in style.
Yeah, that's
nice old couple. Would have been a new Hyundai.
What color leather?
Black.
Black. Yeah, that's classy.
Staff car.
Very classy. Yeah. All right, I want to hear what your car was. Hit us up on the YouTube page. You can also text us at 888-973-5476. We're going to read your text next. We're going to read some of your cars next. Get those in while you can. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens.
She's local.
I grew up in Olympia.
She's experienced.
I've been very lucky to be in Seattle for 23 years.
Now, Manda Factor is home on KIRO News Radio.
This is where I want to be. It's where I've always wanted to be.
Experience matters. Experience for yourself. Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor. Every morning 6 to 9 on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
2025 is the year to break up with bad contractors. You know the ones that ghost your calls, cancel on you last minute, leave a mess behind, and refuse to commit. If you're ready to settle down, swipe right on Valentine Roofing. Our team delivers seamless communication from start to finish, meticulously clean job sites, and we stand by our work with a lifetime warranty. We don't just make promises, we're committed to providing you with the Valentine experience, one you'll never forget. And with flexible financing options like 0 down and 0% interest until 2026, your wallet will love Valentine Roofing too. Stop dating around to find the right contractor. Valentine Roofing offers an upfront and honest approach to roofing. We'll provide a transparent estimate within about an hour of meeting with us. So say goodbye to bad contractor relationships and hello to your Valentine, the perfect match for all your roofing needs. Schedule your heartbreak-free estimate today by calling us at 206 Roofing.
Before taking your next flight, you'll need to be prepared. Start off with a visit to realidwa.com.
New ID requirements for travel go into effect on May 7th, 2025.
There are multiple forms of ID you can use.
Whatever option you choose, make sure you have it with you before heading to the airport.
That way, you can travel stress-free.
Don't wait. Prepare today so we can fly together.
It's your final boarding call for Real ID.
Visit realidwa.com.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Best for Less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of some of our longest-lasting, best-performing tires. Plus, you'll get America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Just another way you'll get more from less. Stop by a store or shop online at leschwab.com. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Hey, I want to tell you a sellwithwes.com success story. Wes Jones knows how important your home sale can be for your future plans. So when he got a call from Susan in Federal Way, he was eager to step up and help her sell her home of 25 years.
Her house was her biggest asset, and this home sale was super meaningful for her. So she's like, I know that I'm leaving money on the table in the condition that it's in. Like, what can we do?
I told him up front that I did not have the time or finances to do what needed to be done. And he immediately jumped in with, well, I do.
He told her about their Listing Boost concierge service.
We identified probably 4 or 5 major things.
It just was all so fast. They did everything.
I'm a son of a builder, and I've done a lot of flips over the years. So this is work that we actually like to do. We are seeking this out.
And I would just tell anybody, here's his phone number, give him a call. He'll take care of it.
So if you're in the market to sell your home, do what Susan did. Check out Wes Jones and his team at sellwithwes.com. Sell with Wes, a better way to sell your home.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Stylin'. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
And 6/22/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Charlie Harger here. When your hot turns to cold, you better think fast. Fast water heater. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST. That's 1-800-THINK-FAST or fastwaterheater.com.
You better think fast. Fast water heater.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Jillian Raftery. New this afternoon from the Supreme Court, a ruling allowing the Trump administration to ban transgender people in the military while legal challenges against the policy continue. CBS News correspondent Jan Crawford.
In its court filing, the administration said the Pentagon had determined that service by people with gender dysphoria would, quote, undermine military effectiveness and lethality. The administration also said the ban was materially indistinguishable from one the justices had allowed to take effect in President Trump's first term.
LGBTQ advocates are protesting that decision. Cardinals at the Vatican are preparing for tomorrow's start of their conclave. That's the secretive process by which the next leader of the Catholic Church will be chosen. U.S. stocks sank again on Tuesday. The Dow and the NASDAQ composite both dropping 0.9%, while the S&P 500 fell 0.8%. CBS's Kelly O'Grady has been speaking to people on Wall Street.
In general, the folks that I'm talking to are saying, look, we want to see some very clear, tangible progress on these trade deals. That's why you're not seeing things fall off a cliff like we did a few of those days in April, but just kind of some tepid pessimism.
Investors' reaction was in part due to quarterly results showing more companies are scrubbing their forecasts for upcoming profits because of uncertainty created by President Trump's tariffs. An extra checkpoint greeted people crossing the Canadian border into Washington last week at the Peace Arch.
The extra checkpoint was up last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, according to Global News. In some cases, Border Patrol officers reportedly opened people's car doors and looked through their vehicles and trunks.
I'm not bringing anything back that's illegal, so they're not going to find anything. It would just, delay my trip home.
In a statement to Global News, U.S. Customs and Border Protection says it routinely conducts inspections on outbound traffic, which it says are vital in catching fugitives and seizing contraband. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, we're starting to see that afternoon commute start to heat up, and a couple of snags to tell you about. 405 South, an earlier stall has had traffic backed up from Bellevue into Renton. 33 minutes Bellevue to Renton. Seeing traffic start to build on the I-90 bridge heading east. Just volume, nothing blocking. 17 minutes to Seattle, from Seattle to Bellevue. Also starting to see the I-5 buildup begin getting in and out of downtown. Linwood to Seattle is 41 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way, 46 minutes. Traffic building on 1672. The southbound drive, Renton to Auburn, is 32 minutes. And an unexpected snag I'm starting to see on 167 northbound. Right at 405, there's a collision blocking the center lane. Not a long backup, but makes the merge to 405 slower for sure. And looking like a speed limit drive on I-5 in Tacoma so far, all the way down to Olympia. Traffic brought to you by Washington 811. If you're digging in your yard, the law requires you to call 811 to avoid dangerous and costly damage to utility lines. Call 811 or submit online at digsafewa.com. Weather brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunny with clouds. Highs up to 75 in Seattle, higher in some other places. Tomorrow, cooling down with some drizzle and rain on Sunday. It is 73 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. All right, we got a lot of text messages to get to. We got a lot of folks sending us their first vehicles. Do we have that on here? Oh yeah, we do. We got a bunch of those on here too. So we'll get to those in just a minute. But right now, let's get to some of your text messages. Laura, fire away.
On the Rite Aid bankruptcy and what that means for Bartell Drugs, Miro says it's Bartell, not Bartell's. To which I disagree. But I kind of disagree. Like if you're shortening it.
It's what? I don't get that.
Bartell drugs.
It's not Bartell's?
It's
no,
not
but
Bartell's.
I'm referring it to like, go to Bartell's.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a family name.
go to Bartell.
So go to Bartell sounds weird to me.
I would
Nordstrom.
never in a million
Nordstrom.
years say I would go to Bartell. Go to Bartell. Say go to Bartell's.
Right? That sounds weird. Anyway, sorry, Miro. We disagree.
Benny, the tugboat expert, says people who run Rite Aid are really weird. I buy real expensive vitamins from them, and they got mad when I asked if they could keep the vitamins I buy stocked. They actually got mad at me for asking to have the stuff on their shelves that I would come back to buy.
Joe in Shoreline says, I use Express Scripts. That's another one. That's another reason that people are not going to these stores anymore. Free delivery, cheaper than the local pharmacy for my blood thinner. All automated delivery, set and forget. Don't forget those, by the way. Every year or so, I get a notice that my doctor needs to reapprove, send a message to the doctor via the... Well, yeah, that's the whole process.
Approved today.
There you go, Joe. Good job, Joe.
On the Hood Canal Bridge closure for 8 hours yesterday, James in Polsbo says they can't just stop usage of the bridge until it's fixed because the submarine base is past the bridge. If that bridge can't open, it's a national security issue.
Wow. Christian says the whole bit about the bridge is killing me. I'm laughing so hard. Thank you, Jake.
Yeah, Christian, we will... thank you for the note. We will address this next segment in our new retrospective of the show that we do daily. Figure out where we got things wrong. And I stepped in it today. Yesterday it was Spike. Today it's me. It's sometime in the near future. I'm sure it'll be Laura. But we will talk about it.
Never.
It would never be Laura. She would never make that mistake. All right. Is it my turn?
Sure.
Steve in Seattle says, try looking at a map. Obviously, he's talking about me. Bernie in Squim says, Jake, I was given toe floss once for severe foot and mouth disease. Maybe we can get a Costco multi-pack. Thank you all.
Ryan in Auburn says, you're not an idiot. Human beings make mistakes.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
right
you,
on.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Our listeners are very gracious.
Yeah.
with me.
Jesse B says, the Narrows opens for no man, but it will close for ridiculous winds. Don't feel bad, Jake. My grandmother lives in the Key Peninsula area, so I grew up crossing the Narrows at least 4 times a month. I just recently discovered that there are 2 bridges in that place.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, welcome back to this millennia there,
Thanks, Jesse B.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jesse B. Let's see here. On Taken the Musical, Jesse B again.
Yeah, freaking flyer today.
The harmonic scream really made it. You know, for those of you who didn't hear this, I do have to just play a little clip of this really fast.
Yeah, please do.
Because it's magical. Somebody did a musical version of Taken. They took chunks of the movie.
Liam Neeson's,
Liam Neeson's
iconic message.
Speech, his message when they take his daughter. And that's what this sounds like.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you let my daughter go, that'll be the end of it. But if you don't, I will look for you. Find you. I will find you and I will kill you. What I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I have acquired over a long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you let my daughter go, that'll be the end of it. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you and I will kill you.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Can we move on to real IDs?
Please.
Joe in Shoreline says, I've had my enhanced ID for almost 15 years. No pity for procrastinators.
Yeah, there you go.
People scrambling.
15 years.
Right?
People have got these 15
cutting
years.
edge of real ID. Yeah, it's when the
He's
Cree
an
first
early
came out.
adopter.
Yep.
Doug in Mount Vernon says, Real ID, this generation's version of Y2K.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, everybody was freaking out. Ended up being a big nothing. On vegans versus man-eaters, we should have had man-eater. That would have been good. 206 says, best Ron Swanson quote, I love fishing. It relaxes me. It's like yoga, but I get to kill something. That's a pretty good quote.
Can we rip through some first cars real quick while we're doing this?
Yeah.
Okay. Becky in Maple Leaf, 68 Ford Torino Fastback. Not everyone gets 3 tickets in an hour, but same officer.
Good for you. Spike, why don't you just tear down this list?
71 AMC Comet from the 425, 79 Buick Skylark hatchback, 3.8-liter V6 4-speed manual. Boom. Ben and Mercer Allen says 83 Volvo wagon, ugly as sin. Also works as birth control. Jamestown, 97 Ford Expedition, Triton class, all-wheel drive. James and Paulsbo. I plan on getting 3 to 4 old 90s Ford Rangers and Mazda trucks. Not a lot to get up and go, so no speeding. Physically higher up than a sedan, so still above traffic. Plenty of steel. Plus, they can grab things from the feed store for me on the way home. This is James planning out getting cars for his kids. That's brilliant.
Let me read a few from the YouTube line.
Sure.
Did you pull any of these from YouTube, Laura? Let me pull a few from YouTube. Karen says, my first car was a 1955 Chevy Bel Air. It was 1963. I was 20. I paid $400 and didn't know how popular it would be when I gave it to my cousin. Oh, that's a bummer. I mean, it's a nice thing to give things away. Celia says a 67 Pontiac Catalina with a stock 410, $300 with my sweat equity and my grandmother. I was 14. I'm 62 now. What else? Who else here? Adam says 74 Dodge Power Wagon. That's a sweet.
Big time.
That's a super valuable now. Good luck finding one of those.
How many people wrote the words, I wish I still had?
Everyone.
Right?
Even if it's an ugly car, you still wish you had it because it represents that time in your life. You just can't get that back, ever. Nancy says that her first one, car of her dreams, teenager, was a hardtop yellow Camaro. That's pretty nice. And then finally, Jerome says a 1985 Saab. Saab went out of business, right? They're not a car anymore. You can't get Saabs.
360 says my daddy bought me a 78 Mustang in high school, and then when I got my divorce, he got me an 84 Mustang.
Nice.
God love him.
Yeah, that's a good dad. That's a real good dad.
That's so funny. Melissa got a car for her divorce, too, from her first husband. The old man bought her car.
Really?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Sweet car.
Did you ride around in it?
Yeah, still. Yeah, you bet. You bet.
Tons of suggestions. David says he's got a 1977 Ford F-150. He had to share it with his stepdad, and this was in 2001. That's an old truck. 2001. That's a nice one. I like it.
You're so cute. That's an old truck.
Well, 1977? That's pretty
good.
That's pretty old. Still running on the road? That's a 50-year-old vehicle now.
That's actually, yeah, you're right.
That's an old truck.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all for your suggestions. These are great. Finally, on accidental Amazon deliveries, Donna and Lacey says, I ordered a pair of Crocs as a gift. One pair. I paid for only one pair. I received 12 pairs. I tried to fix it with the company. They thought I wanted to cancel the order. I tried to explain that they still didn't get it, so I ended up with 12 pairs for the price of one. Whoever boxed up the order, it was probably their last day with the company. They were ticked about it, and I was the lucky recipient.
That's awesome.
It's pretty great. Yeah. Sometimes it works in your favor. Good for you, Donna. Hey, if you got an extra pair of Crocs, you want to send them our way. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe 3 pairs.
Maybe 3 pairs. All right, I really put my foot in it. Speaking of Crocs, I put my foot in it earlier in the show, and I'm happy to highlight when we get things wrong, and I will do so next, and I will say my apologies, which is what this last segment is going to be about. Tune in for it. We'll be right back.
The John Curley Show.
When I was shooting at a squirrel, I was like 10 years old. I traded out. It was a high-8 film that got confused with my mom and dad's high-8 films from Singapore. And it had a woman undressing, so it was like a nudie film. I didn't even think like I was going to miss. And it went right past the squirrel. Yeah. And it hit my neighbor's a great big picture window. He got me dead to rights.
John Curley, weekdays 3 to 7 on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. I've always been an athletic guy, but after turning 40, I noticed I was slowing down. I booked a free testosterone check with Revive Health and learned that low T doesn't just impact my performance in the bedroom. I've been following a custom treatment plan ever since, and today I'm feeling stronger and more confident than ever.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, text BOOST to 65555 or visit ReviveMensHealth.com to schedule your appointment. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help. Text stop to cancel. See privacy policy at ReviveMensHealth.com/privacy policy. For info on how opt-in info will be used and terms and conditions at ReviveMensHealth.com/terms of use for terms of short code service.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 Gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Hi, it's John Curley. You know, I've been a patient of Longevity Medical Clinic since 2009, and Longevity Medical Clinic has been helping people live longer, healthier lives for more than 25 years. You know what's amazing, doctor? The feelings that you have after just a couple of months. You sleep better. Your strength and vitality, it is evident that it works. It's really a mindset, though, Dr. Mixon, because a lot of people, well, this is what's supposed to happen.
Let us help you be stronger, faster, leaner, smarter, sexier, but most important, happier. I'm less impressed by how many years I might live, but how much I live during my years. You know, the option is here. Nobody's going to make you go to longevity, but the opportunity is there, and all you have to do is take advantage of it. I don't know why anybody would not want to do what we do.
And that's where Longevity Medical Clinic comes in. So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Mike Salk here, and you've probably heard me mention that Crawl Pros has a full-service pest control division called Pest Pros, and they can prevent bug and rodent infestations from reoccurring at your house. You probably also know that it's especially important to keep a close eye on any signs of pest intrusion in your home during the spring. Why? Well, let's start with rodents. They're at the peak of their reproductive season, so if just one makes its way into your house, it could quickly turn into hundreds, and then you've got damage to insulation, wiring, even structural features, not to mention they're disgusting and carry disease. You may also see an increase in bugs, especially ants this time of year, as they're just looking for food. But if you got kids, you know they leave food everywhere, so this can become an even bigger issue. If you have any reason to think you've got a pest problem, you want to take care of it quickly before you have a much larger problem on your hands. So call Pest Pros. They'll come in, do a free corner-to-corner inspection, just like they did at my house, and fix the problem. If you're worried that any type of critter is making a home of your home, call Pest Pros or visit gopestpros.com.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Buc-ee's has you covered with available financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance, it's Buc-ee's Complete Auto. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
If you're thinking about renovating an attic, spending more time in your sunroom, or building onto your home, a Carrier ductless unit is the perfect solution for climate control. It's efficient, quiet, and incredibly flexible when it comes to installation because there's no ductwork required. It's just one more way we're making your home totally comfortable.
Your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer will improve your home's comfort, air quality, and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find the expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Welcome back to the show. All right, we're kind of doing a new thing where we take the final segment of the show. Listen, we talk for 3 hours every day. We say a lot of stuff. Sometimes it's correct. Most of the times it's going to be correct. Sometimes it's not. And when it's not, we're going to hold ourselves to account. We're going to let you know when we say stupid things and we get it wrong. Today, that was me. I apparently don't know what bridges are, and I don't know the name of bridges.
Yeah, well.
And I got like 6 minutes into an interview with Chris Sullivan about the Hood Canal Bridge.
Yeah.
And the entire time, I'm talking about the Tacoma Narrows Bridge in my head. And I don't even realize it. And Chris called me out on it and it ended up being kind of funny. Laura, do we have audio of this? You want to play it? What's the bridge? I take it all the time, but it's the floating bridge up north on the way to Port Townsend. What's that bridge called? It's an open.
That's the Hood Canal Bridge.
No,
are you thinking of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge this whole time?
Yes.
If the Tacoma Narrows Bridge was closed by Marie, have you heard of Galloping Gertie?
You know that doesn't open, right? The Narrows Bridge. It's not supposed to open at all.
That one's in Tacoma. Buddy. The Hood Canal Bridge is the one on the water. Over there. Our listeners are also slightly dumber right now for having listened to this, but that's okay.
And everyone is dumber for having listened to what you said.
I award you no points.
Thank you.
Finish it off.
See, I knew where you were going.
May God have mercy on your soul.
There you go.
Just for everybody to know, Hood Canal, floating. Tacoma Narrows, not floating.
That's a suspension bridge.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Okay. That doesn't open for
No, it's way too high.
Or for ferry boats.
No, it doesn't open for anything unless you built it incorrectly and the wind shows
Well,
up.
I'm sweating now, and that makes a lot more sense. At least we know which bridge we're talking about.
Spike and I always did.
All right, whatever. We got to go. They knew what bridge. I didn't know.
Well, it was confusing when you started talking because you said so many things that made sense. When I go south, when the ferries are crowded, I go south. To most of us here, I'm thinking. I thought you were describing going around through Tacoma and up through the Narrows Bridge.
That makes no sense, Jake.
No.
It makes no sense. So yeah, that was a problem. I didn't know what it was, and thankfully we have a lot of our wonderful listeners.
Yeah,
who
people were happy to help.
Pointed those things
Chime
out
in, yeah.
really fast. A lot of people sent me this clip, which I'm going to play for you right now. Here we go.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yes. Very good. Very good. Spike, as we look back at the show today,
sure.
What was, aside from my, obvious mistake,
obvious faux pas,
stupidity,
as they say.
It's a fair word. What was one of the things that stood out to you? What was something that you really enjoyed about the show today?
Oh,
to me, it's got to be the highlight of the show. It's not my stupidity, but it's the cars. No. I enjoy talking
looking
about
back
cars.
at your cars. Yeah,
it was really fun.
It was a great trip down memory lane and great information from people out there who are in the position right now of having to put your kid into a new safe car. Nice of the list that was put together. Was it Como that put the list together? Where we first originally found the reporting. Because if you're a parent putting your kid into a car for the first time, boy, the worry never stops. Never stops. You've got a lot of this coming up in your future.
My hope is, and I'm conflicted on this, but half of me, 75% of me, is hoping that everything is just self-drive cars, and that nobody's, because statistically they're going to be safer in a car like that if everybody's driving a car like that. Even if not everybody isn't. If they have the option of getting into the back of a car and it's safe and, it's just going to drive you somewhere. An electronic chauffeur.
The distractions that are facing kids these days. I mean, the safety for kids these days isn't the car they're in. It's what else has got their attention. The kids in the car, the phone in their hand, whatever it might be.
That's the thing that scares me the most.
It's terrifying.
I see these commercials all the time about don't text and drive.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Oh,
so dangerous. And these kids are always looking at their phone. So stupid.
I hadn't contemplated putting a kid into self-driving cars, but you're right.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Spot on about that. Yeah, take it out of their hands.
Take it out of their hands, and they have less of a feeling of freedom. I understand. It's a wonderful feeling. I loved it. There's nothing like getting behind the wheel of your first car.
Mm-hmm.
But also,
it's the American dream.
I also worry about, we didn't have to fight against technology when we were learning to drive.
No.
Now it's all technology.
It's the radio.
Yeah, it's just a radio.
Yeah. It's the only technology we had.
Maybe a pack of cigs rolled up in your sleeve.
Never did them.
Nah, me
neither.
Not
once.
Nah, me neither.
Look cool. Look good doing it. People grease your hair back.
You've never smoked a cigarette?
Once. One drag. One time.
One time?
Sick as a dog. Never went back. I don't know how people did this.
I must have watched you do it because I saw somebody else and I went, nope, not for me.
I mean, I remember the day like it was yesterday. My own backyard, snuck one of the old man's, went out back, lit it up, pulled it in.
Yeah,
wanted
forget
to
about
vomit.
it. Yeah.
Done. Who does this to themselves?
Good for you. Laura, you ever smoked?
A couple of drunk cigarettes in college. But
sure.
Nothing serious.
Yeah. Good for you. Good for you. All right. Well, that's where our show ends today, on some drunk cigarettes. But we hope that you guys have a wonderful...
Have one for us, please.
Please don't. No,
Or
we don't recommend it. Don't recommend it. Have a wonderful sunny day. It's a beautiful one out there. I hope that you do something a lot of fun and enjoy the sun and come back here tomorrow. We'll see you then. Listen to John Curley, too. He's up next. Bye-bye.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
So I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and I would get, the same questions from people about what to do in the case of an accident. Do you need a lawyer? To the point where I decided that I would at least write a book which would answer the common questions that I would receive as a lawyer. Once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases so that we could really teach people about their rights, how to protect them, and how to decide on whether they need a lawyer and what lawyer to hire. I've found in my career that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Time is running out to save during our preseason AC sale happening now at Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Don't miss your chance